Lombardy region. In addition, around the year 1234, he was appointed by Pope Gregory IX as Inquisitor of northern Italy, where many Catharists lived. Peter's preaching attracted large crowds, but as inquisitor, he made many enemies. In 1252, while returning from Como to Milan, he was murdered by a Catharist assassin at the age of 46. The following year, he was canonized by Pope Innocent IX. He was also named the patron saint of inquisitors. Since 1969, his cult has been locally confined. His feast day is today, April 29th. Spain and Portugal were without power yesterday. Spain's Interior Ministry declared a state of emergency after a massive power outage hit both countries on Monday, knocking out traffic lights and forcing the evacuation of subway systems in both countries, among other disruptions. About half of Spain has seen power restored, while full restoration is expected to occur sometime today. A graph on Spain's electricity network website shows power demand across the country indicated a steep drop at about 12:15 p.m. local time, from 27,500 megawatts to near 15,000, according to the Associated Press. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
Attention coffee lovers! Our Capuchin Dark Roast is now in its 6th year as Crusade Channel listeners' favorite coffee. Grab a bag of whole bean or ground, fresh roasted goodness today and take advantage of flat rate shipping and shop for all our coffees at shop.mychurch.com. Well, I tell you what, I believe we could start prepping this show at 1 o'clock in the morning. And Murphy's Law will still kick in at 3 minutes to 11 and crush the entire preparatory process. Just the way it works. Greetings to you. It's the Mike Church Show live, kinda, here on the Crusade Radio Network, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire. For safe and secure society.
No, you can't.
So I'm calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them into law.
You fall down the thunder, well now you got it.
That hell guy sounds angry. Our call-in line telephone number, if you'd like to be on the program today, same as it ever has been, 844-527-8723, 8445-CRUSADE. Email address, same as it ever has been, I am King Dude at protonmail.com. Crusader Stadium chat room open for your commentary at crusadechannel.com/chat. It's crusadechannel.com/chat. Today is day number 100 of the Trump administration, which, as you know, began in earnest on the 20th of January, 2025. So the 100th day. This is an arbitrary thing. It's not something that's in the Constitution. You shall have an accounting of the president's progress on day one, number 100. There's nothing of the sort. As a matter of fact, I believe that I would be safe in saying that when the media coronated Bill Clinton in 1992, and then when he took office in 1993, it was their fabrication that he was going to, this young, energetic Democrat was going to bring a new kind of energy to Mordor and the Potomac, and then Clinton and Gore are going to get in there and take everything that should have been up, make it down, everything should have been down, make it up, and they're going to do it all in 100 days. And so they fabricated this storyline that this was the new Kennedy and the new Camelot, and that Clinton was going to go in there, and he was, because Bill Clinton makes all things new again, you see. And then the first 100 days were legendary. You know what happened in the first 100 days of Clinton's presidency? Most people have probably forgotten about this. It was a total disaster. From the Whitewater investigation blow-up to the firing of the White House travel office, and then there were more bimbo eruptions, as Betsy Wright used to call them, that had to be put out, and then people in Washington met the real Hillary. They didn't know this. They didn't know her when she got there, because nobody went to Arkansas. She was a complete and total unknown commodity. Now, people in Arkansas knew her and were terrified of her. But the Clintons get to town, and then the people meet the real Hillary, and the Clinton Healthcare Task Force is launched. It was a disaster. And just thinking back on it, that's how they got the 100 days. So the accomplishments of the Trump administration in this 100 days, I think, are just profound. He's already signed 140 some odd executive orders. There are all these polls out there now. People doing polls that I never heard of. The people for the American tradition have polled. I'm like, wait, what? Who? What? One of the polls I saw yesterday was, do you have voter's remorse? Do you find yourself, citizen, do you find yourself walking around America looking down at the sidewalk and kicking the ground and going, oh, shucks, I should have voted Kamala. Nope. Maggie goes, nope. Do you find yourself walking around town looking at these storefronts and going, look at the damage that tariffs have done. I should have voted Kamala. Nope. So I gave her the cue. I teed it up, put it on her. She could have knocked that T-ball out of the park. Do you find yourself in chat room and signal chat conversations speaking with other Trump MAGA voters going like, I know it. We should have voted Kamala. Or we shouldn't have voted at all.
Nope.
There you hear there, my friends, the peanut gallery hath spoken. Yeah, the fake pollsters have spoken. We get a inventory of all this. I've seen these polls, these people saying, and Trump's approval is the lowest for any president in the first 100 days. First of all, since they just started fake measuring the fake time period that is the first fake 100 days, that would just mean that it started in Clinton. So there's no way of knowing just how much people hated John Adams, for example, in the first 100 days. Second of all, you people are liars. Why should anyone? You know, I think this is just a great mind screw here. This is a psyop just like any other. They want you to go like, yeah, I don't feel like, yeah. Well, so what if eggs are back down to where they were? Actually, they're cheaper than what they were. As a matter of fact, eggs are so cheap you can't get them now because they can't keep them on the store shelves. People are buying eggs like they never bought eggs before. Gasoline, I paid $2.96 the other day for unleaded, no ethanol. Unleaded, no ethanol, $2.96. Just the other day, 3-4 days ago. Gasoline prices are down. You know, I said this earlier. We covered the Caroline Leavitt, Scott Bessent press conference, the Treasury Secretary press conference earlier today, and I said this at the close of this. What exactly is wrong with advertising to the world that the United States of America is the best place on earth to make things, to do business? First of all, we have the greatest, largest, wealthiest built-in market for whatever it is you're going to make here in these lands, right here in America. 300 and some odd million, pretty well off, pretty well-to-do consumers, just in customers, just ready for you to come out with the next big thing. Second of all, and they said this during the press conference, the goal is this, to make it the lowest regulation, lowest tax, and lowest cost of energy, therefore the lowest cost of doing business anywhere in the world. So if you're a foreign corporation and you're like, well, you know, I was just importing all my stuff using the slave labor over here, but now I want to make it in America, it's making it affordable and attractive to do so. So wait a minute, you're telling me if I move in there, you're gonna drop my taxes? Scott Bessent said earlier today that they're working on on some of the finer points of the refinement of the tax code. You build a new building here in the U.S. to house a manufacturing facility of any sort, no taxes on it. You take the entire cost of building it right off of the bottom line. Just take the whole cost. You just deduct it right out. The point being that, and Caroline Leavitt kind of rolled out a new term for Trump. He is America's top businessman. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to get the job done, and he's going to help other Americans get the job done. Whether or not that actually works out for everyone, I think, is immaterial. But the fact of the matter is, this is something that people can actually hear, and they go like, okay, so what exactly is wrong with that, Democrats? Why are you in opposition to that? You're going to run around, we don't want America to be the best place in the world to do business unless it's the best place for communists to do business. Ooh, what a high bar that is. So I believe that the Trump plan is underway, and as you know, we have been told, and as we keep saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was Mordor. You're not going to dismantle it in a day. I saw something from DOGE today that I think I took a screenshot of because I knew I was going to forget it. So I'm going like, okay, Self, how would you find this so that you don't forget it? And I went, Self, here's what you do. The screenshot was, and of course I don't have it. I had the one next to it. The story. The story was this. Yesterday was the first day that the DOGE. Let me make sure I get this right. This one, the Treasury? Yeah, that the DOGE Treasury, the new payment system kicked in for the first time yesterday. And you know what it did on its first day? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, last week. Last week, Treasury went live with its first automated payment verification system In total, now this is just in the last, just it went into effect Friday. So yesterday, first day of business, today's second day of business. And its first couple of days, $334 million in improper payment requests were identified and rejected due to 1, missing budget codes, 2, invalid budget codes, that is, the payment was not linked to the budget, 3, budget codes with no authorization, that is, the budget had already been fully spent. And they call it the Treasury Access Symbol, TAS, is an identification code linking a Treasury payment to a budget line item. In the federal government, the TAS field was optional for all $4.7 trillion in payments and was often left blank. Well, you can't leave it blank anymore. So if you don't have a code, no one's getting paid. So for all the people that are going, yeah, well, the DOGE cuts are for nothing. The DOGE cuts aren't for nothing because they identify all of these trillions of dollars in payments that did not have codes, and they programmed them into the system. If anything comes through that doesn't have a code, don't pay it. So all of that has taken place. I think, though, that the primary accomplishment and the thing that was, or one of the things that was most needed, and we're going to pray to God that this continues, making America safe again. The southern border is now closed. It is not open for business. It's closed. Tom Homan said yesterday a grand total from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean, so from Baja, California to Corpus Christi, Texas, a grand total of 175 people showed up at the border asking to be admitted in under some sort of asylum or whatever program. 175. And he goes, you know what the number was 1 year ago when Biden was in here? 15 some odd thousand. Because think about that. 15,000 a day, now down to less than 200. And we turn most of them away. Secondly, did you know, how many of you people saw that the Clinton News Network did a story on the 100-yard signs that were in front of the Capitol or in front of the White House, primarily on the Pennsylvania Avenue sidewalk there, detailing the mugshot and then the status and then the crime accused of or convicted of the trendy Aragua and all the other gangbangers that the Trump administration has already captured and taken off the streets, many of them deported. Did you know, and I didn't know this until I saw it today, this Caroline Leavitt did a walkthrough where she started at one end and went all the way to the other. Almost every single one of those perps were pederasts. Child sexual endangerment, lewd and lascivious behavior with the child, sodomy with the child. These are the crimes. And she walking down, and you can see in the video, Maggie can run it as B-roll. You see all of these creeps that have been accused of all of these heinous crimes, and again, almost all of them against children. So the fact that they have been removed, and then the CNN goes, and they do a fake Tapper does a story on it, and they blurred out the perps. Well, we have a duty to protect the innocent. The children or the perps? Who are you protecting? And you can see as you watch the video on the, and this is another assault on civil rights and freedom and the dignity of human persons. Pederasts are not dignified. Nope. A pederast is not due anything that's dignified. A pederast is due a fair and impartial trial so we can sentence him to be removed from the public forevermore and to never be a threat against children again. You know, but the idea that somehow, you know, think about this. The Democrat Party and its Malachian satanic media allies, that's the MSM on the Mike Church show, the Malachian satanic media allies now want to protect the gangbangers over the children. Children are now toss away commodities. Gangbangers, we must protect and defend the sanctity of gangbanger life. I want you to make an ad with that. I want them to run with Trendy Aragua, Ariana Grande Cartel, MS-13, et cetera, et cetera. I want them to run with this. We, when the going got tough, we, the Democrat Party, we stood for freedom and justice in the American way. There's no actual Americans in your ad. Those are all Venezuelans, El Salvadorans, Hondurans, Nicaraguans, what have you here. There's not a single American in that ad. It's really quite stunning, the turn of events here, that the Democrat Party just 6 months ago was yucking it up after the rigged ABC debate, thinking that the shape was going to cruise to victory over Orange Man Bad, and even if she didn't, they were going to lock him in jail. And then here we are, 100 days into Trump 2.0. Who had any of this stuff on their bingo card? By the way, the broadcast this evening, we will broadcast this live here. Let me make sure I give you the right itinerary, because I was looking at it today, and it is, I think I can go back to the next page. It is quite a day that he has planned. Let's see. I know he's going to Michigan, and I think he leaves at 1. Here it is.
And he's going to meet with Whitmer.
So here it is. So they did a press conference this morning at 8. 2:10, he leaves for join Andrews Air Force Base, and all the rest is a flight schedule. Then he arrives at he arrives at Selfridge Air National Guard Base. You people that live in Michigan, where is that? Selfridge Air National Guard Base. So he arrives at Selfridge Air National Guard Base, 3:45, delivers marks to the Michigan National Guard. I believe Gretchen Whitmer. I wonder if she's going to have the file folder in front of her face. I wonder if she's going to come up as Trump gets off of Air Force One. Oh, Mr. President, I'm so glad to meet you. So nice to see you here. Why do you have the stupid file folder? What is going on here? I saved Michigan from so many things, and you greet me with a file folder. Hi, how are you? Let's see. He delivers remarks to the Michigan National Guard. Then he leaves, and he goes to where is the Macomb County Community College Sports Expo Center. He goes there, and he delivers his 100th day in office achievement speech. That's 6 p.m. Central Time. I think you Michigan people are on Central Time. And then he leaves at 7:05 or whatever. So we'll broadcast the speech from the Macomb County. I think I've actually been to Macomb County. Isn't Macomb County like just south of, it's south of Detroit, isn't it? Well, that's Metro. Okay. BK in Michigan. BK in Michigan's in the chat room? At noon?
They're at a tavern having lunch.
Oh, okay. It's north of Detroit. Okay, all right. I get a little turned around here. So at the end of the day, I want to give you one more headline before we go to the first time out. By the way, if you're listening on 990 AM WGSO, we're not on tomorrow. Beginning Thursday, though, May 1st, you got me 5 days a week. I got a great lead in there. You got Jeff Crouere, 7 to 9, Moon Griffon, 9 to 11, the King Dude from 11 to noon. What a great talk radio lineup for you guys. You should spread the word throughout the kingdom of Lostocky. Oh, you didn't play the game, did you? Okay, I'll tell you all about it. We are your home for the Win a Troy Pound of Gold. I'm going to give it away here on Friday, March the 23rd. All of you will have a chance to win it beginning Friday. Many of you, or 50 of you, are already in, and you can start selling your tickets. Start selling your tickets using your affiliate links. That's why you played the What's the Prize .com game. But I invite all of you, how cool is it, or would it be, for you to hoist that bag of gold up when I give it to you? Coolest radio promotion ever, and that's not just there's more cool stuff coming your way you don't even know about with this contest. I'll tell you all about it on Friday. Here is the headline. Who had this on their bingo card when Trump was inaugurated? Walmart expands support for American-made products. U.S. small businesses, they're basically having made in America business fairs. They want to know if you make something in the United States and it looks like something that was previously made in China. You need to let Walmart know they're putting an emphasis on made in the USA, baby. We'll be back. Attention coffee lovers! The Founders Trading Post has done it again. We've actually increased our selection of America's best gourmet coffees. Try the new Guatemala Le Eterna roast from Twin Pikes Roastery. Order today and take advantage of flat rate shipping at shop.mychurch.com. Hey folks, did you know that the word watch, as in wristwatch, originates from the Old English word watcha, meaning watchfulness, and was initially used to describe keeping a lookout or being alert? Well, I know two guys who keep a lookout for the highest quality watch movements, bands, and then apply their own love for liberty and the Second Amendment to the design of the faces, and bammo, you have the 2A Liberty Watch Company. My friends George and Josh design watches that are sharp, functional, and inspire. I wear my 2A 4547 POTUS watch every day, and you'll love yours too. Shop their entire line today at 2awatchcompany.com. Use the code CHURCH for 10% off at 2awatchcompany.com.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. This report is brought to you by Mike Church's Beast and Butt Rub, a rub that's won championships and will help make you a champ in your kitchen or backyard. Check out Mike's recipes and pick up a bottle or 6 today at shop.mikechurch.com. In the market report, the Dow Jones was up 0.28%. The S&P was as well, but just slightly, 0.06%. But NASDAQ was down 0.10%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Peace Rose Day. The light yellow to large cream-colored flowers of the peace rose have slightly flushed crimson-pink petal edges. It's a hybrid tea rose that is hardy, vigorous, and highly resistant to disease. French horticulturist Francis Meilland developed the peace rose between 1935 and 39. When he foresaw the German invasion of France to protect the new rose, he sent cuttings to his friends in Italy, Turkey, Germany, and the U.S. It is believed these cuttings were sent to the U.S. on the last plane available before the German invasion. It's also National Zipper Day and Shrimp Scampi Day. And our quote of the day, we are to love God for himself because of a twofold reason. Nothing is more reasonable, nothing more profitable. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. And our saint of the day, Peter of Verona. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News. Listen up, Red, White, and Dude Nation fans. Now, if you wear one new t-shirt this spring, then make sure you pour yourself into a new Mike Church Show neon microphone t-shirts. Printed on beautiful 100% soft cotton tees, the logo's so cool. It's even more cool than burning unburdened by what has been stickers. Available in sizes medium through Alvin Bragg sized 3X. Be the best dressed dude at your cigar shop or the coolest dressed gal at Junior's soccer match. Order today at shop.mikechurch.com.
He's an ethanol-free, inflation-resistant, grass-fed, red meat-eating American. And for extra credit, he also hosts a radio show. The Mike Church Show is on CrusadeChannel.com.
Making American talk radio great again because I was raised in a middle class. Oh, wait, that's from last year. Still funny. Because I was raised in a middle class family and seeking an opportunity radio market. Mike Church Show's on the Crusade Radio Network, welcoming all of you in New Orleans. You know, you New Orleanians, you Hoodats, you get to play the Win a Pound of Gold game as well. I'm expecting that Maggie O'Connell better be taking some phone calls when the contest starts in the call-in line winning part from area code 504 and 985. And if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to complain to Mayor LaToya Destroya. Is she still the mayor? No, well, I don't live in New Orleans anymore. I'm in Madisonville. I'm your kissing cousin here. But I'm from New Orleans, so welcoming all of you on 990 AM WGSO. So excited to be part of a big midday live talk radio crew with Jeff and Moon. And then Miss Fitzmaurice. It's just great to be back live during the day in New Orleans. And so welcome all of you. You're welcome to join our chat room at crusadechannel.com/chat. You're welcome to join our live signal chat, the official Mike Church Show. So live signal chat. Just send me an email. I am kingdude at protonmail.com. And you can 24/7 chat in there. Okay, this portion of the program brought to you by the Founders Trade and Post Store. Maggie got an order today for 60 handmade rosaries for one of our listeners' wedding. So, yes, she still makes the handmade rosaries, and she still has a bunch of them for sale. I don't promote them enough, and I should. They're all beautiful, and they're all made right here in Southeast Louisiana. She chooses all the beads, the tri-bead, the cross, the crucifix, the whole thing. And you can find all of them at shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget the new books. The Manchipia Maria cigars are fresh. We just got them in today. The Capuchin Holy Roast coffee and the whole bean and the grind made right there in Abita Springs from the Abita Roasting Company. All in our store, plus the greatest selection of books. Some of them brand new, some of them old, some of them on sale for $2. Shop with us today, shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget the spices and the rubs, shop.mikechurch.com. Thank you in advance. Okay. I think today is all things American. Now, this is... Caroline Levitt gets up there and she's asked a question. Well, you and your stupid tariff program, did you know that Amazon is now putting labels on their products that show how much Trump's tariffs increase the cost? She was waiting for that one. She goes, oh, yes, as a matter of fact, I did know. And why don't we talk about this? And then she whips this piece of paper out that has a picture, because people like pictures, of a dude who is a member of the Chinese Communist Party and who does CCP, Pinko Commie, Red Chinese propaganda for the CCP, and is now working for Jeff Bezos. She goes, oh, is this your guy? Is this you? There it is. Maggie's showing you on the screen. This your guy? Yeah, we knew all about it. Did you know that he's hiring Chinese communist propaganda teams to propagandize Americans against made in the USA? Did you know that? Did you know that the Chinese are teaming up with Amazon and with Bezos? And then the follow-up question was, well, can you say that is Jeff Bezos still in the MAGA circle, or however it was she said it? Caroline Levitt, I'm not going to answer that question. You can ask President Trump himself tonight. Man, I love the way she just handles that and goes like, get that crap out of here. What are you doing? Next, is there a sentient being in here who has a real question? Yes, you. Let us talk about this Chinese propaganda. You know, when he was on, when he was alive back in the 90s, Rush Limbaugh, L. Rushbo, used to talk about, I know, and I was in talk radio since 1992, so I was always either on a Rush station or in competition with a Rush station, so I did get the opportunity to listen. I knew a lot of what he was talking about. How many of you remember this guy's name? Let me see if I can, let me ask my chat room bros. Was it Dr. Win-Lo Park? Who was the Chinese guy that was accused of selling the nuke secrets? Who was, as Rushbo used to call him, the Chi-Coms. Do you remember this? I want to say it was Dr. Win. Was it We Too Low? No. Oh, that's funny, Torres. I want to say it was Dr. Win-Lo Park. And he was some kind of an American, half American, half Chinese, Chinese nationalist or whatever. And supposedly, he had in his travels between the United States, remember at that time, Bill Clinton had made China most favored nation. And in his travels, Dr. Winlow Park, whatever that's the word, Wakanda, Dr. Wakanda, was transporting, you found it? Was transporting.
In 1999?
Yes, that's it. Wen Ho Lee. Thank you very much, Maggie, for the win. I was close. Dr. Wen Ho Lee was transporting, right? Plans to basically build nuclear reactors and and the extension of that is a nuclear weapon. Because if you can harness the power of the atom and figure out how to contain it inside a containment field in a nuclear reactor, then you can use that to then refine it. This is the hard part, right? To refine it to make it weapons grade. Because just out the box, you just can't take a rock of uranium and throw it in a bomb and throw some dynamite in there and bambo, you got a bomb. That's not how it works. To tell you the truth, I really don't know the physicality of how it works, other than, the chain reaction and all that. But I do know that it takes enhanced, or whatever they call it, uranium, and then they started using plutonium and cobalt and whatever else to make the bomb. Well, this Winley Park, or Wen Ho Lee, rather, was transporting these secrets. Now, most people, because you had Bill Clinton, the president, saying, well, no, Dr. Wen Ho Lee was a good man. He didn't really do anything wrong. The Chinese is our greatest trading partner with the most favored nation status, and they need that kind of intel. I believe in that we, through our diplomatic channels, can provide. He was lying. He was absolutely lying about that, and it was ultimately discovered that Dr. Wen Ho Lee absolutely was, and the Chinese were taking what Dr. Wen Ho Lee was giving them, and they were reverse engineering what the technologies that we have here. Our friend, the host of Reverse Deception Radio here, Greg Carpenter, wrote a book called Reverse Deception. Part of the reverse deception is the Chinese taking American technology and bringing it to China, and then maybe hiring an expert or two under the table and getting him, how you make this? How you make a semiconductor on a flash surface transmit a billion billion of data per second? How you do that? And this has been the pattern. The Chinese don't develop anything, and they haven't since like the 8th century. The last thing the Chinese invented, other than water torture, was fireworks. So, and there are billions of them. I think it's worth asking the question, and I wish someone would, other than yours truly, well, why is that? Why, Santa? Why? Why don't the Chinese invent new things, Santa? Why? Well, the short answer is because they're atheists. They're either pagans, Satanists, or they're atheists. There's 4 causes: the formal, the material, the efficient, and the final. If you don't have the final, you're done. You will not progress as a civilization. The Muslims ditched the final when they went all Muhammad. The Asians and the Chinese ditched the final when they stuck with Buddha or Confucius or whatever the hell, and never embraced the one true living God. So beyond the Bronze Age or so, the Chinese have not progressed. Now, it may be true that it's not necessary for man to progress in order to flourish, although I think it's kind of baked into us. I think that we are just naturally like inquisitive creatures. We look around and go like, well, why does it work? But the problem is, and this is now true of American scientific research, we also have ditched almost everywhere the final cause. Where's Isaaconius at again? He's absent.
He was in here earlier.
Where's Isaaconius when he's needed? Well, Dr. Torres can comment on this too. without the final cause, without the acknowledgement that there is a force that's not me, and it's not you, and it's not just Gaia, the lovely earth, and her magical forces of love. No, it's not the magical forces of love, it's God. Without God and the acknowledgement that I didn't create it, you didn't create it, that he created it, and we are free, and he actually encourages, he doesn't mind us doing this. We are free to explore the wonders, the miracles of his creation, so long as we acknowledge that he made it. And you're better off if you do that. If you acknowledge that God created the world, it's not the random set of chaotic circumstances or whatever the hell, and you acknowledge that there was a creator and that there are forces that he put into effect, well then, instead of saying like, we're going to find a new force, we're going to find God's force and we're going to harness it, we're going to alter it, and we're going to make it work for us the way we want it to. Never works. Never works. And this is why all development ends in civilizations that do not have the final cause. This is the real fault of communism. Why did the United States successfully put Apollo astronauts on the moon? Because we had the final cause. Why did the Russians fail? Because they were trying to reverse engineer by stealing our space secrets, and they couldn't develop beyond Goddard. They had Werner von Braun and all Werner von Braun and all the other Russians and all the other Krauts. All they had was the knowledge that they got from Robert Goddard, the American. And they never developed it beyond that. So everything was reverse engineered. I bring this up now. This idea that we're going to have a trade war with the Chinese and we're going to lose. No, we're not. No, we're not. We will innovate and productivity will increase. They won't. They can't. We will innovate. Productivity will increase. New products and new ways to make products that could be made right here in the U.S. I'm talking about stuff that's kind of existential that you need, will all happen in real time because we have the freedom to do so and because by and large we believe we're a one nation under God. Now, that's not because everyone's running around with rosaries in their hand and that we're all like the greatest assortment, we're gathering of Christian people in the world. That's not the point that I'm making. A free society that can freely worship and that primarily holds the one triune God as its God is in the position to flourish. The one that rejects it, the one that says that that's not the one true God, the one that says that there is no God and there's just there's either pantheism or Satanism or paganism or whatever, is not going to advance. So, what should we be doing then? And this is where I think that some of the other things that the Trump administration is doing are quite necessary. You better be on guard because when they start falling behind, dude, they're looking at, Scott Bessent said today, some number like 10 million unemployed. That's probably 10 million people that are being teed up for starvation. Now, the solution to that ought to be the end to top-down red Chinese communism. But is that going to happen? Probably not. Pray for it to happen. I hope it happens. So what are they going to do? Well, if they want to keep up with us, then they're going to have to come stealing again. This is why I brought up Dr. Winlow Lee. Because they're going to need armies of Winlow Lees to steal the ideas, the engineering behind new American innovations. Productivity gains are going to come from these innovations. And that's the only way they will be able to keep up. And they still won't be able to keep up. So when I read this, Amazon partnered with China propaganda arm, you can expect more of this. Not less of it. You can expect more of it. They don't have anywhere else to. They're like leftards in the Democrat Party. They don't have anywhere else left to go other than to hell, literally. Amazon.com Inc. was more. And by the way, Amazon this morning, after Caroline Levitt said what she said, their stock tanked. It went Just like in a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. Because it is funny, Mrs. O'Connell.
I can see it half.
Those of you that watched it in slow motion, you want me to do it again? We should have an animation that goes. All right, look. Well, the Amazon stock tank, and then Bezos sends people, no, tell him to sell, Mortimer. No, tell him, no, it's not true. It's not true. Amazon.com Inc. was marketing a collection of President Xi Jinping's speeches and writings on its Chinese website about 2 years ago when Beijing delivered an edict, according to two people familiar with the incident. The American e-commerce giant must stop allowing any customer ratings and reviews in China. In other words, Xi Jinping wanted 5 stars from every viewer on all of his videos. Gee, hey, look, he's got 100% approval. This guy must rock. A negative review of Xi's book prompted the demand. One of the five people said, I think that the issue was anything under 5 stars. The highest rating in Amazon's 5-point system, said the other person. Ratings and reviews are a crucial part of Amazon's e-commerce business. A major way of engaging shoppers, you see, but Amazon complied, the two people said. Currently on its Chinese site, Amazon.cn. The government-published book has no customer reviews or any ratings, and the comments section is disabled.
That's what we should do to everything.
Maggie says we should no, we get great comments. We get great comments. By the way, the Crusader Stadium chat room is open at crusadechannel.com/chat. And if you're in the YouTube and you're watching on youtube.com/@RealKingDude, please like the show, give us a subscription, tap that subscriber button. Look, can I let you guys in on a little secret if you're watching on the YouTube? I'm talking to you. You, like I point at Buckshot all the time. You. If you want to win a ticket to win my Troy pound of gold, I'm going to give you a shot here beginning Friday on the Mike Church Show. But you got to listen or watch all 3 hours. And by the way, Shuffle 13 and the rest of you what'stheprize.comers, Don John of the Tower may have one more sly announcement to make about a game portion of the winmypoundofgold.com or contest that's coming up. All will be made clear on Friday, my friend. So the story is Amazon partnered with China propaganda arm. Now, why would they do this? Well, you know, you got to feed the monkey. You know, he needs the clicks and likes, and he needs the money, obviously. An internal 2018 Amazon briefing document that describes the company's China business lays out a number of core issues Seattle-based giant has faced in the country. Among them, ideological control and propaganda is the core of the toolkit for the Communist Party to achieve and maintain its success. The document notes, we are not making judgment on whether it's right or wrong. You know what someone said today? When Caroline Levitt pulled that picture up and go like, so, you know, this guy here, you know, the one that hired a Chinese propaganda firm to do its marketing. This guy here, this Bezos guy here, yeah. Or she described it as what? A political attack? No, the actual wording of it was a hostile and political action. A hostile and political action. Let me put the point on it. Why shouldn't we go Kid Rock on Amazon? Take cases of Amazon made in China crap, bring them out on the back 40, stick them on stumps or shooting range at sawhorses or whatever the case may be, and then get your double barrel shotgun out and blow holes in it. Or what did the other guy say? We could all just go boycott?
Just give them the Bud Light.
Oh, no, we could all just give them the Bud Light treatment. So those of you that are still buying from Amazon, I know the way it works here at the church household is if we can buy it from the person that makes it and we find it using Amazon's search engine, then we will try and buy it, if it's at all possible, from the person that actually made it. The problem is there are so many people that just surrendered and went like, beep. I don't even try and sell my stuff anymore. I just send it to Amazon. You know that my movies, Founding Father Films movies, I made 7 movies, 8. 2 full-length animated, The Spirit of 76 and The Road to Independence, and then 5 full-length audio, amazing documentaries. I heard one of them yesterday on the Vault that we were playing. I removed all of my stuff from Amazon about 10 years ago. Well, first of all, they undercut you. If you actually do retail, they undersell you. And second of all, you cannibalize your market. Well, I just sold it to Amazon. There's a lot of people that are into self-publishing their books, and they think that the Amazon self-publishing route is the only route to go. If this is you, you need to contact me. Please, I will put you in touch with an actual publisher, which might even be me, Founding Father Films Publishing. That's probably not going to happen, but you can ask our Doug Grain, for example. I hooked him up with David Thomas Roberts, and Defiance Press published his book on the Saints. There are ways, dude. You go through Amazon Publishing, number one, you're not going to make any money. Number two, you're at their mercy of when they can actually publish those books. Remember, all the people that we have bought books from Amazon, self-publishing or whatever, every single one of those is a disaster. And people get angry at us. Well, I ordered it. I'm like, dude, I don't make the book. I can't get my hands on it. To me, it's the worst system imaginable. You'd be better off bringing it, collating it in Word or whatever, and then having Kinko's or FedEx print it out. So back to the story, Amazon partnered with the Chinese propaganda. Why is this being allowed? This is what I want to know. Someone was saying, you're looking at the pedophile wall of fame or infamy on the White House. There's Marjorie Taylor Greene as she's walking on this. She goes, you know what would happen if you're an American citizen and you go to a foreign land and you get caught raping a child? She goes, you know what's going to happen to you? She goes, you're not going to get asylum, and you're probably never going to make it back to the United States. Depending on which country it is, they're probably going to have a trial for you. They're probably, if you did it, they're going to convict you, and then they're probably going to kill you. Because this is how the rest of the sane, civilized world deals with pederasts. Oh, but not here in America, because everyone is entitled to due process. Why are Chinese propaganda firms eligible and allowed to do business with American companies? Someone ought to ask that question. And then just make the comparison. Would you have been allowed to be doing business? We'll be back. Hey, it's Mike Church, and I'm here to tell you how you can enjoy this whole show in crystal clear stereo and without annoying messages like this one. Sign up for a Founders Pass membership for the grand total of 0.0. All we ask is your name and email address. No credit card needed. To sign up, go to crusadechannel.com/offer. Once you're a premium member, you can pull a Braveheart and shout, "Let my ears be brave!" Treat your ears today at crusadechannel.com/offer.
Music is a huge part of any good movie, and Mike Church's The Road to Independence, the movie, has an awesome original score and soundtrack. Hi, this is Jim Mosier. I composed and performed the RTI score from the opening Freedom track to the emotional finale, and it's still one of my favorite works of my 30-year career in music. This score is a big part of The Road to Independence, and you'll hear it in beautiful 6-channel surround sound when you purchase a copy of the 2-DVD Director's Edition of The Road to Independence, available now at mikechurch.com/road. By the way, the director guy, even though he's a royal pain, did a pretty good job too. Learn the real story of the Founding Fathers' struggle for independence
Order your copy of The Road to Independence, the Director's Cut 2 DVD set at shop.mikechurch.com.
Over the years, radio contests have been staged. Repetitive.
Listen and win.
Snooze fests. On May 2nd, the Mike Church Show will bring that to an end. And you'll see what playing. When President Trump attempts to make America great again, we'll be there for you with the best with live coverage and commentary in media on the Crusade Radio Network, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com.
So, Maggie, what's with the wry smile?
First of all, dude, I'll wry smile if I want to. Second of all, it's not wry, it's excited.
All right, so what are you excited about?
It's a chick thing. You just wouldn't understand.
What? Is there a sequel to the Twilight trilogy coming out on Peacock?
Pretty close. My trilogy box set of the Summa Domestica is on the way.
So when did you start reading St. Thomas?
It's not St. Thomas. It's Layla Marie Lawler, and it's 3 books every young wife or soon-to-be wife ought to have.
Well, you are a wife, but you're not...
Stop! Don't you do it!
All right. I was just kidding. Light of my life.
Mm-hmm. Besides, it's for our niece as a wedding present.
And I'm sure it'll be a great one.
It will be. Now, where's that cast iron skillet?
What do you need that for?
Well, I'm a Domestica you.
Get the Summa Domestica and dozens of other book selections for girls and women of all ages at the Founders Trading Post store today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. This report is brought to you by Mike Church's Beast and Butt Rub, a rub that's won championships and will help make you a champ in your kitchen or backyard. Check out Mike's recipes and pick up a bottle or 6 today at shop.mikechurch.com. In the market report, the Dow Jones was up 0.28%. The S&P was as well, but just slightly, 0.06%. But NASDAQ was down 0.10%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Peace Rose Day. The light yellow to large cream-colored flowers of the peace rose have slightly flushed crimson-pink petal edges. It's a hybrid tea rose that is hardy, vigorous, and highly resistant to disease. French horticulturist Francis Meilland developed the peace rose between 1935 and 39. When he foresaw the German invasion of France to protect the new rose, he sent cuttings to his friends in Italy, Turkey, Germany, and the U.S. It is believed these cuttings were sent to the U.S. on the last plane available before the German invasion. It's also National Zipper Day and Shrimp Scampi Day. And our quote of the day, we are to love God for himself because of a twofold reason. Nothing is more reasonable, nothing more profitable. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. And our saint of the day, Peter of Verona. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Hey, Christian patriots, are you tired of waking up to the same old fake news? Start your morning right with the Daily Church Doctrine, written by the King Dude himself. It's the must-have newsletter for the truth seekers like you. Every issue brings you the truth and wisdom quote of the day, plus 3 can't-miss stories every Christian patriot needs to know. And that's not all. You'll get exclusive deals from the Founders Trading Post you won't find anywhere else. Sign up for free at mikechurch.com/dude. That's mikechurch.com/dude. Wake up, stay informed, and join the movement.
Did you know it took centuries to develop the Hail Mary prayer? First, the monastics began adding, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you, to the end of their psalm readings. Later, Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus, was added. And by the 15th century, the Hail Mary was complete and took the place of the 150 Our Fathers many prayed daily. Today, the work of art that is the Rosary is cherished by millions, and there is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell's Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hey, it's the King Dude for My Pillow. Mike Lindell sent me my first set of My Pillows 14 years ago. I loved them then, and I still love that same set of original My Pillows today. True story. Now, that's a testament to the craftsmanship and quality of the My Pillow. But don't take my word for it. Go try it for yourself. Use my unique code and get huge discounts and free shipping on all orders by going to mypillow.com/King Dude. That's mypillow.com/King Dude. Attention, Coffee Cop Academy students. Now that DEI is over and CCA order is restored, let us return to training. Now, Rule 4DC calls for the separation of all tasteless decafs, thereby protecting... Who in the name of J.D. Vance could this be?
Guess who's back?
Well, what are you and Lou doing here? Trump abolished DEI, and that includes rougarou nouns.
He did, but Lou got one of them federale judges to step in, and voila! He gave us what they call an injunction.
Let me see that. Editing order. And by the power of
Read it and weep.
I'm gonna have to call this in. Stay here. Hello, White House. I'd like you to list an enemy coffee combatant. They're called the Tom Lou Decaf Cartel, and they're leaders in my office.
Will the Trump White House list and then deport Tommy and Lou? Will the CCA ever be free from the threat of rougarous as students? Stay tuned to this station for our next episode. And in the meantime, order Abbey Roast Coffee at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Director Trump. It's time to activate secret asset codenamed Sassy.
Over the years, radio contests have been staged. Repetitive.
Repetitive.
Listen and win. Snooze fests. On May 2nd, the Mike Church Show will bring that to an end. And you'll see what playing and winning should actually mean.
Oh, come on, Captain. You're not the first man to get a thrill from murdering someone. I see it all the time.
Get out!
Or what? You'll kill me? Like you killed Ensign Lynch?
There was no way to save him.
You didn't even try. Where was your involved sensibility then?
I don't have time for this.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your little quest. Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
This is not about revenge.
Liar!
This is about saving the future of humanity.
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! No! I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already. Too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. And I will make them pay for what they've done.
Had some fun. Yes, we've had our ups and downs. Been down that rocky road, but here we are still around. We thought about someone else, but neither one took the bait. We thought about breaking up. Now we know it's much too late.
Work without the Huey Lewis and the new doo-woppers. You gotta have the whoppers in there.
Like the same phone number, all the same friends, and the same address. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. I am
That's what I'm talking about.
with you.
How you doing?
Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true.
Performing this show with 79.2% of my testosterone tied behind my back just to make it fair. An oasis of toxic masculinity, Christian and Constitution common sense here in a sea of single, angry, ugly cat ladies and Democrats. Why is the word Democrat becoming synonymous with pederast and pervert? Because they're radical nutcases. I want to talk about this, Maggie. I know you probably didn't say it, and you're gonna get mad at me. There was a bill that what you were just talking. There was a bill in the California Assembly to make it a crime. Why isn't it already a crime?
It's a crime. It's just not a felony.
Okay, to make it a felony to traffic children, minors in California. It's a misdemeanor? So, It failed.
Again.
Third time, it failed. Second time. One of the guys that voted against it said he voted against it because why the pursuit of adults trafficking minors, sex trafficking minors, needs to be equitable. What? Milka, what? What is equitable about sex with children? Nothing. Here's a headline. California Democrats blocked bill to make sex trafficking minors a felony again. Right, the first comment is the best one. You got a second chance. God, send the earthquake. You know, it's funny. I watched... The fare on the movies is so bad right now that I was going like, okay, I know some good films I can watch, and I don't have to worry about them. So on Saturday, I watched Superman 1, which was just positively delightful compared to most crap served up today. And gosh, Christopher Reeve was Superman. And he literally was Superman in that first Superman. And Gene Hackman, I mean, there's the campy kind of a comedy bit with him and Ned Beatty. Mr. Luthor. And in any event, Lex Luthor steals the ICBM and targets it, and it hits the San Andreas Fault. And if you don't remember, the scheme is to have the San Andreas Fault go expand and then cause such a rift in it that everything to the west of the San Andreas Fault just kind of slides down into the Pacific Ocean. And then Lex Luthor has bought all the property to the east of the San Andreas Fault, and now he owns beachfront property, and he's a bazillionaire. Is the scheme. It's the scheme. So it is possible. I mean, theoretical. It did happen in the movie, or kind of happened in the movie. But Superman went flying through the crack and sealed up some of the stuff. How is it possible, though, ladies and gentlemen? California?
I have the audio of that dude.
Okay. So here is the explanation of why a bill to block the sex trafficking of minors in the state of California was blocked.
Play. It won't play.
Okay. She has it. It's just in, and we're going to get it queued up here. But the dude said, I mean, there's a quote in there that has the caption. How is that equitable? I mean, how do we equity? Oh, do you have equity in your house? You have it now? I think so.
You just got to the legislature, but this has been debated, and Assemblymember Krell is an expert on this issue and prosecuted folks. I mean, do you guys not trust her?
I fully trust Assemblymember Krell, but I also trust my experience as well. I, too, as you know, am a former prosecutor. I was part of the La Luz del Mundo prosecution in Los Angeles. So when it comes to protecting children and going after sex offenders and people that are exploiting children, I, too, have that experience. And as much as I do trust my colleague, Assemblymember Krell, I also trust my personal experience and my own subject matter expertise, if you will, on the subject, as well as that of the committee.
Sure. So right now in Sacramento, there is a well-known blade. KCRA did a documentary on it. It's just a few miles away from here. Sheriff Jim Cooper has said that right now, if a John were to go and try to purchase a 16 or 17-year-old on that blade, and law enforcement were to intervene, because of a judge's order right now in Sacramento, law enforcement would not be able to put that person in jail because it's not the solid felony that law enforcement has been asking to be. So I just want to make sure, like, you're okay with 16 and 17-year-olds continuing to be purchased on this blade for the next year or until you have to dissect this issue in the fall, and these Johns getting let go and just issued with citations?
Well, I don't agree with the premise of the question, but what I would say is I'm not okay with any child anywhere being exploited. But the solution that we craft, the solution that we pass needs to make sense. It needs to be equitable. It needs to be comprehensive. And while I appreciate Assemblymember Krell for bringing the proposal forward, and I know that her heart is on this issue, it's connected in a way that few other legislators can really be equal to or understand, it's also my job to make sure that we're not just passing knee-jerk policy, but we're having good, substantive conversation and landing on a good spot. So to the sheriff, the district attorney, and any other stakeholders, I hope that they'll continue to engage not just with Assemblymember Krell, but with all the members of the committee, with myself, with our staff, and our goal is to get a good solution delivered here as quickly.
Dude, you're a pederast.
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
It's the only way to be sure. There's something wrong with that dude.
I bet she's got child porn on this computer.
I agree. Maggie's like, equitable for who? You haven't. So I don't know what a blade is. What's a blade? What is that? A series of park benches? I don't even know what a blade is. Okay. The reporter. This is bizarro world. The reporter is not acting like an arm of the Democrat Party for a change. It's going about. But so you're saying 15, 16-year-old child is sex trafficked right down the street on that blade. Cops see it. You get called. There's nothing they can do other than basically issuing him a citation for jaywalking. They can't detain the perp that was trying to solicit the sex or trying to pick up the 16-year-old, the minor. And you're okay with that. Well, don't put words in my mouth. I'm drawing upon my experience. Your experience is what? What are you talking about? The state of California is now incapable of the simplest of government's functions: protection of the innocent. The simplest government function there is protect and defend the innocence of the citizens, and you could say protect and defend the truth. They can't even do that. Where is the equity for the 16-year-old? You know, an arrest is not a conviction. I agree with Maggie. There's something wrong with this here, and there's something wrong with this picture, and this is not a picture that any of us should like. I don't understand it because I don't understand how it is that an entire political party, now 65% of them are these, they're becoming more and more insane. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is almost like a neurosis that's feeding upon itself. It's like we're not pervert enough. I said I was going to talk about this. By the way, this portion of the program brought to you by our friends at mypillow.com/King Dude. mypillow.com. Use our site, mypillow.com/King Dude. Get great deals on so many MyPillow products, including the Percali sheets, beautiful cotton Percali sheets in 12 colors now, available for starting at $25 a set. $25 for a set, 12 different colors to choose from. Don't forget the MyPillow Classic, which is always on sale. Mattress toppers, the sheets, so many other products. My slippers. I love my slippers. Love them. I wear them every night around here. You'll love them too. Shop with our friend Mike Lindell and the MyPillow folks. Don't forget to try the Rev 7. That's REV7. Energy drink, Rev 7 energy drink, and get you a 3-pack sampler for free at mypillow.com/King Dude. Shipping is still free on orders of $75 or more. mypillow.com/King Dude. So, a couple of years ago, 10, 12, we did a show on, I don't remember the exact subject, but it had to do with, it was probably about homosexuals getting married. And you know what? It was around the old time of Obergefell. And they were out there beating their chest like they were King Kong, and they had just vanquished and slain the great Christian monster that had controlled these United States, and glory be, wake up Granny and spank her on the fanny and tell her the good news. What a great day this was. And remember me, or I will refresh it, and I will remind you of what I said. I said, these people will never be satisfied. There is no satiating. You can never make satisfied a perversion. It will always be perverted, and it will always tend towards, oh, well, I tried that and I'm still a miserable F word, so maybe I need to try this next perversion. Whatever that may be. This will rinse and repeat until it either meets death or it will rinse and repeat until it comes to an end that will finally, mercifully, for that person and all the other people that it was to encounter, will ultimately bring an end to the perversion. A perversion is like a revolution. It just doesn't put itself out. And we have this on pretty good authority from all the history now that we have of all the sexual deviants, and all the U.S. is very well documented now, serial killers. You know, and now the growing list of pederasts. And to give just one example. The two Fruit Loops playing husband and wife in Atlanta that weren't satisfied when they were young men with just being plain old garden variety homos, had to graduate to some greater perversion and some greater perversity that was homosexual, and then graduated to some greater perversity that was, God, who knows what it was. Finally, in order to keep the progression going, they fooled the state of Georgia. They said they were Christian homosexuals, and they adopted a pair of boys, and now the increase and now the expansion of the perversion can now continue. Now they had a pair of prepubescent boys to pervert on. It began with them just acts of perversity and lewdness that I can't describe. It began with that. When that wasn't enough, it then progressed to, well, let's get some other homos in here and let's have them do it. Let's have them do it. When that wasn't enough, well, maybe we need to introduce pain to the perversity. And then finally, when they introduced pain, that's when they were finally caught. And only then. And that's when finally that court in Atlanta sentenced them to like 160 years in prison. They're never getting out. By the way, they won't live to see their 50th birthdays. They won't live to see their 40th birthdays. Because the heterosexual killing black men in there, you know what they don't like? They don't like white men that are fags. You know what they don't like even more? They don't like white men that were fags and were fags with children. So unless they keep them in some kind of solitary, they're not going to live long anyway. So I pray that they get right with God and that they live a complete and total life of abstinence after they have gotten right with or tried to get right at least and confess their sins. But the point is that the perversion does not put itself out. Now, God can intervene for you. And we don't know the details, but we do know this. We don't know the details of the perversity of Mary Magdalene. All we know is what the gospel says, which is not very descriptive, but that she was a sinful woman. That's what we know. What happened to her? What happened, as the Three Stooges might say? She stopped seeking the path of perversity. What did Jesus tell her at the well? Your sins are forgiven. Now, go forth and sin no more. Well, we know that she did it, and we know that she sinned no more, or she did. She offered it up in confession, because today she is Saint Mary Magdalene. Sure, it says she's a saint. She's a saint. What's better church, please? Why are you cramming this Catholicism down my throat? I'm not. Well, maybe a little bit. The point is, it was when she made the decision that pursuing perversity, indecency, sin, would only lead to an embrace of sin and then to the next perversity only when she stopped and said, no, I must, and then you have to you have to pray for the grace to do this. That's when it stops here. These people that are doing this in California, if the law's not going to stop them, who will? Well, parents, maybe. But who ultimately will? They're basically, the state of California is now breeding the next generation of pederasts, of pedo rapists. If you don't stop them when they're preying on the 15 and 16-year-olds, and let's just say that these are just lewd and lascivious acts, I'm not going to describe them. We're going to leave it there. Pursuing that perversity will never be enough. It will never be enough, and it will lead to the next perversity. And the next perversity will be worse than the first, just like the tale of the man who cast the sinners out. And then the demons come back, and they're just 7 times worse than before. So the state of California is now culpable in this because they had a chance to do something about it, and they failed. I agree with the guy that made the comment. Bring Lex Luthor back, put the nuke in the San Andreas Fault, and let it slide into the Pacific Ocean. For good. You know, we didn't even intend to cover this story today. How did we get on this subject? Because what? Because it was breaking news. It was breaking! Is what it was. 844-527-8723, 844-5-CRUSADE. You might have heard that we are doing a little promotion here. It's called Win a Pound of Gold. Now, the only way... Now, look. Those of you that are going like, I ain't buying a brick from Schaefer or anyone else. I'm going to wait. This is giving you a couple of day head start on the rest of the world, which is why you affiliates out there, look, don't cannibalize the chat room or your internal audience. Schaefer, you said you had a list of 10 people. Did you send it to the 10? And I know they're not chat roomers. So the point is that now that you're an affiliate, every 5 tickets you sell, you get a free ticket. Now is the chance you get a 5-day head start on anyone else. So a pound of silver. Well, right now, I can tell you, if the referrals are stuck at
0.0.
Ain't nobody getting that pound of silver. This is not a T-ball tournament where everyone gets a participation trophy. So if you are marketing, by the way, if you click on your creatives on the website that all of you have seen, there are some images that are there that we pre-made for you. So I just thought they're not a lot. I think there's 3 of them there because I know it because I made them. There's a couple of images of gold and the stack of gold, which is an approximation of what a pound actually looks like. If you could break it down into 10-gram bars. Really cool, that little, let you know a little secret there. But you need to use your referral link and your QR code. Start spreading the word. Now, look. If one of you then is, so inclined. So who was it that said Pal? I think that's Palio. Said he was going to give his pound of silver if he wins this week. He was going to give his pound of silver to the St. Benedict Center as a gift. So that's a great incentive. If you want to, then you have to be able to find a username Pal. I don't know. Is he in the chat room, Paulio? No, I know he's not usually in there. But that's a great incentive, and some of you others. So if you're interested, then I would go to the Lost Ark and Signal chat or the Mike Church Show official Signal chat, and you might start there. But here, just for clarification, you don't get a referral until you sell 5 tickets because that means you got 1 payout. You got a payout. So the leaderboard right now is stuck at
0.0.
Although, the guy that's in the lead has, he's had like 20 some odd, he said visits. Hold on. I know I saw it earlier. Yeah, I'm just going to refresh the page and make sure I have up-to-date stats. Mike B has 20 visits, Amy B 16, Schaffel 14, Richard B 11, and Paulino C, I think that's Paolo, that's Pal. You got 10 visits, bro. And again, it takes 5 sales, then you get a referral, then you get a credit. So if you have the link, check your email. I sent all of your coupon codes out, 50 of them, and some of them still haven't been redeemed. Okay, 844-527-8723. We still got the sound bites coming up from this morning and the rest of the digital media file. I still have the story about Walmart expanding support for American-made products. We're going to talk about that. Tax cuts. What else is in here? Oh! Remember that car I said that should be made in the U.S. with the white storefront with the black print that says car? Somebody actually did it. Back in the heyday of broadcast TV, NBC called its Thursday night lineup must-see TV. That was then, and this is now. And the only must-see TV is The Mike Church Show, now simulcast live on Roku, YouTube, and Rumble. But if you miss an hour or a day, you can watch that entire show whenever you want when you become a Premium Founders Pass member. Sign up today and access my 2,000-plus podcast. So many, I can't even get my mom to say that she listened. Go premium today at crusadechannel.com/offer.
Oh, man, May is so boring. I wonder if there's anything on the radio here. On May 2nd, the Mike Church Show will launch a broadcast contest unlike any other in history, and you'll see why May 2025 won't be just another May.
Folks, I want to talk to you about investing in precious metals and Miles Franklin. Andy Schechtman and his father started Miles Franklin together with the belief that precious metals are wealth, not an investment. Now, you've heard Andy on the Mike Church Show, you know his knowledge and passion for precious metals is second to none. So call Miles Franklin today and tell him I sent you. 952-929-7006. Ask about precious metals storage and IRAs too. Call 952-929-7006.
Did you know that the rosary began as a tool to give laity a form of common prayer, like what was being prayed in monasteries? And monasteries were praying all 150 psalms from the Bible. But most laity couldn't afford a Bible, and most couldn't read, so they began praying the Our Father 150 times a day. Today, the rosary is prayed by millions, and each one is a work of art. There is no finer maker of this art than Maggie O'Connell and the Little Bayou Rosary. Find her rosary creations today at shop.mikechurch.com.
When President Trump attempts to make America great again, we'll be there for you with the best with live coverage and commentary in media on the Crusade Radio Network, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com.
Hey, it's Mike Church, and I'm here to tell you how you can enjoy this whole show in crystal clear stereo and without annoying messages like this one. Sign up for a Founders Pass membership for the grand total of 0.0. All we ask is your name and email address. No credit card needed. To sign up, go to crusadechannel.com/offer. Once you're a premium member, you can pull a Braveheart and shout, "Let my ears be brave!" Treat your ears today at crusadechannel.com/offer.
Hey, Red, White, and Dude Nation fans, we recognize that you have choices to make. Choices in what to listen to, choices in what to watch, and in what you wear. Choose the new Mike Church Show Neon Microphone t-shirt. Printed on beautiful 100% soft cotton tees, the logo's so cool. Even if your friends don't know who the King Dude is, they'll want one anyway. Available in sizes medium through Lizzo-sized 3X. Order today at shop.mikechurch.com.
He's the non-Bud Light beer drinkers talk radio show of choice. It's Microbrew Talk for the Macro Brain MAGA faithful.
I want to talk to the idiot who put that moron on the air.
The Mike Church Show is on the Crusade Radio Network.
Goody two-shoes. Betty by boot.
I can hear them marching feet. They're moving into the street. Now, did you read the news today? They say the danger's gone our way. But I can see the fire still light. They're burning into the night. There's too many men,
Mike Church Show here on the Crusade Radio Network. This show delivers a healthy dose of conservative Ozempic. It's the stupid video version of the song. You're hearing the stupid, idiotic sound effects from the video. I thought I had a song, not a video. It's a video. My bad. To help you lose the crushing weight of white and MAGA guilt here. This portion of the program brought to you by my friends at 2awatchcompany.com. No Genesis video sold separately. At 2awatchcompany.com, that's the number 2, the letter A, watchcompany.com. They are a sponsor of the Win a Pound of Troy Gold contest. So, and it's graduation season, so lots of people are graduating, lots of young men, maybe lots of older men. And, of course, maybe you've got someone that's a birthday boy or a birthday grandpa. A 2A Liberty timepiece 4547 POTUS watch is in your future. Choose the band, choose the face, choose the movement, Japanese or Swiss. It's all up to you, and they're beautiful, beautiful chronograph timepieces. Get you one today as a great gift, or treat yourself, guys, to a great chronograph watch. I love my 2A watch. You'll love yours, too. Look, these aren't Timexes and Seikos. These aren't throws away. You know, you bring it every year or so to get the battery changed, and if you wear it too much, all the metal wears off, and you can see the plastic underneath. That's not going to happen. So shop with my friends Josh and George today, 2awatchcompany.com. That's the number 2, the letter A, watchcompany.com. We need to do some of these digital media files. We have a program here today celebrating 100 days. Not that it matters. Would you care? Would you care if the things that have been done by the Trump administration happen in the first 100 or in the first 103? As long as they happen. Start at the top with with Stephen Miller on the White House lawn. And by the way, tonight President Trump's going to give these remarks at a place just north of Detroit, I believe, and we will cover it live. It's 6 Central is the scheduled time start. So if he's on time, then it'll be at 6 Central. I will, of course, be your host and on duty here to bring you all of that live. And the chat room will be open, as will the YouTube chat. Again, that's 6 p.m. tonight, 100 Days Accomplishment Speech from President Trump. Here is Stephen Miller. Okay, all right. I thought there might have been some technical difficulty. It is Macomb County Community College Sports Expo Center, wherever or whatever the hell that is.
Best use of the administration's resources to be going after moms of young kids, basically?
Do you yourself have an opinion on the subject?
I'm more interested in yours.
Well, what percentage of the, let's just pick an even number of, say, 10 million illegal aliens. Let's say that Biden released, I think it's closer to 20 million. Let's say he released 10 million illegal aliens into the country over the last 4 years. What percentage do you think we should let stay here of those 10 million?
I'm not trying to do a game show.
No, but I'm saying, no, but...
If you think that's the best use of...
Well, hold on, but is it your view that if a Democrat president releases 10, 15, 20 million illegals into the country, that they all then should get to stay forever and for all of life?
Stephen, I don't have a view about what Democratic presidents do. I'm asking what the Republican president does for and how
okay, so you don't want to answer the question because you know the answer is obvious. Everyone that Biden let in has to go home. Of course. I mean, it's a crazy thing to even ask. You think we should give administrative amnesty to some subset of the illegals that Biden... Here's how we're prioritizing it. ICE is going to continue to focus on raids against high-threat criminal aliens. We're going to use the entire force and power of the federal government to get them all home. Many will choose also to leave voluntarily and take advantage of the CBP Home app. But we are not going to ask taxpayers to subsidize the presence of a single illegal alien in this country.
Why is this hard for anyone to understand? Yeah, but some of the ones that Biden... this is like a mental disorder. You feel like you're talking to people that have like they're schizophrenic, or they have give me a serious mental disorder. They have a serious phobia of some sort, or they have Tourette's, something that is literally, seriously mental. What is this obsession? And it's now, It's an obsession. What is this obsession with people from foreign lands? And if I'm Stephen Miller, one day I'm going to say, can I ask you a question? Why do you hate the citizens that you're already surrounded? Citizens that you're already surrounded with. What's wrong with them? Well, there's nothing wrong with them, but this is the country of immigrants. Blah, blah, blah. Show me in the Constitution or anywhere in the founding documents, anywhere where it said that we are establishing this as a country of immigrants. Show it to me. Show me any famous, productive American from the last 260 some odd years before this modern era that thought that the United States would be cooked without immigrants, without foreigners populating our states, our cities, our towns, our cities, counties, and states. What is this obsession? It is almost as though it really is. It's an indictment of regular old American citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I are on the goodwill used rack. Well, I mean, I could make common cause with him or her. Yeah, but the one that's coming in from some other foreign country, he or she has real motivation. How do you know their motivation is greater than Michael Jordan's? Why'd you pick Michael Jordan? He's an American citizen. There was no guarantee when he was playing for Dean Smith at the University of North Carolina that he was going to turn out to be that Michael Jordan. Why did he? Why was Michael Jordan? Why did Michael Jordan become Michael Jordan? Did he not have? Was there a lack of initiative? To hear this reporter going, yeah, well, what about all of these people that came here from these? Too bad. Cry me a river. Are you wetting your depends right now? Do you need to change? There's a bathroom right over there. I don't know if they have any backups in there. It's almost like there's a neurosis. Just like with the stupid wench that went on with Jasmine Crockett, and she went on with Jimmy Kimmel, and they're talking about people that don't speak our language. They don't share your customs and traditions. They don't. Most of them have no interest in sharing your custom or tradition. They're only here because they heard that there was a free lunch and that something was being given away. Those that actually want it know that the only way to truly get it is to go stand in the line. That movie that they made that was such a hit back in the 90s that put Gerard Depardieu on the map with Andy McDowell, Green Card. You couldn't make that today. No one would believe it. No one would believe that Gerard Depardieu or any other foreigner had to jump through flaming hoops of fire to even stay here in the United States on a visa. When everyone else says, come on, greaseball, the kid was born here. So what if the mother killed a couple of innocent children? And we deported her back. Yeah, you got to grant citizenship to those children. They deserve better. They went with their mother. I mean, this is during the, I shouldn't be surprised at this. This is the Corona doom mass hysteria, but this time it's not about masks. It's not about masks. You should all go out and put 1 or 2 or even 3 masks on, and it'll protect you from the virus. Fauci lied. Remember, we couldn't understand with no evidence, none, this much evidence.
0.0.
For the efficacy of wearing a cloth mask against an environmental pathogen like a virus, there is no study ever conducted in the history of the human race that says that mask, that it protected anyone from catching a virus. Yet, there was a mass hysteria event. It didn't matter what the facts were. It didn't matter what reality actually said. It just didn't matter. The proposition, the action, and then the result were already baked in to the entire equation and known, even if it really wasn't. So what was the result of the action? I'm saved. I'll never catch your virus. And of course, there really wasn't anything outside of a seasonal flu to catch. So most of them didn't. So they thought, say I was saved by the mask. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Play the next one from Stephen Miller on the mugshot yard signs.
I see on my desk, Sean, examples of the illegal aliens that President Trump's Department of Homeland Security and Justice have arrested and the heinous, unthinkable crimes they've committed. The assault and rape of underage children, the violent beating and murder of moms, shooting innocent people in cold blood in the street, crime after crime after crime. And as you said, Sean, those sanctimonious, pompous jerks in the left-wing corporate press refuse to cover any of these crimes, refuse to interview or cover any of their victims, do not demonstrate an ounce of human empathy for any of the suffering that Joe Biden's border invasion, the Democrat Party's border invasion, has wrought on this country. And so the White House, so President Trump's White House, has forced, brilliantly, these outlets to acknowledge these crimes, to acknowledge these atrocities by putting these posters, these mugshots and their criminal histories right behind them as they stand there and do their shots every single day. And we're going to keep forcing the media to cover the atrocities committed by the illegal aliens that Joe Biden and the Democrat Party have brought into our country.
That's why they're lined up on media.
There you go. This is the Trump administration going like, I'm pretty sure that you want to see what your buddy Biden did? You want to see? Well, here you go. This is it, just laid out here. Just laid. Are these your friends? Are these yours? I think that's why they chose lewd and lascivious behavior with a child, sex with a minor, and all of the other acts of perversity that I was talking about earlier. Now it makes sense because those posters are on Media Row. So this is where the media can drive in when they come in the morning.
All of their informal interviews.
And for other informal interviews, they have to drive past the sign. Well, look, I don't think it matters. I don't think it's going to matter. This is a mass hysteria event. Regular old Americans just don't stack up. They just don't measure up, folks. All right, 844-527-8723. I teased you this at the end of the last hour, so I don't want to be accused of not following through for 2 days in a row. So remember I was telling you, why isn't there a place that I can go where I can buy one of those little Japanese-made or South Korean-made, it's the Suzuki, what's it called? The Real? Carry, the Suzuki Carry. Why can't I buy a Suzuki Carry that's made in the U.S.? Remember me asking and saying that all I want to be able to do is I want to be able to go to a car dealership or a truck dealership or wherever. I don't care. I walk in, and there it is. It's white. It's just a white, small truck. And above it, it says, truck. I get in to check it out. Manual windows, no airbags, no Bluetooth, no USB. No rear cab seats. You want rear cab seats? bring the station wagon back. No rear cab seats. A bed that's actually 8 feet long and functionable, right? Needs to be at least be able to carry a 2x4 stud, so 8 feet 1 inch would be perfect. And then for if the bed could go up like this, which the Suzuki Carry can, for extra credit. You know what the Suzuki Carry costs in U.S. dollars? If you can buy one, it costs little south of $9,000. It has a small, it's either a 3 or a 4 cylinder engine in it. It says top speed 75 miles an hour. Okay, fine. I don't plan on taking cross country trips. So all of these things, you should be able to go, and you should have the choice as a consumer to buy this. Well, lo and behold, someone was listening and actually did it. My gosh, I think he's done it. It's a company that was backed by Bezos. It's called Slate Auto. Now, I think ultimately, because it is a golf cart, that they are going to have to make a gasoline engine version of it, which wouldn't be hard to do. So the story says a Bezos-backed startup unveiled on X a cheap electric truck priced at roughly half the cost of average new American pickup. The catch, it lacks power windows, infotainment screens, and self-driving features. I don't care. That's the greatest thing that ever happened. I don't want it. The people spoke, we built. No, the King Dude spoke. You built. I've been asking for this thing for 5 years now, since Mitter Monday first showed me the Suzuki Carry 5 years ago in 2020. The people spoke, we built. Meet the radically simple, radically affordable Slate. Reserve yours today. A radically simple electric pickup truck that can change into whatever you need it to be, even an SUV, the Slate Auto website says, adding, made in the USA at a price that's actually affordable. No, really, for reals. At 14.5 foot long, the customizable EV is more akin to a Toyota pickup truck from the mid-1980s. And someone else said, King Dude, stop with your whining and complaining and go buy a 1980s Toyota. Where? Yeah, where? Donde, por favor? Or, où pour te plaît in French. The range of the EV truck is abysmal at 150 miles or 240 miles with a longer range battery pack. The vehicle, in our minds, is not a serious truck. They say, of course. Any serious work, whether towing or hauling actual weight, well, that's why you have to make a gas engine version of it. And then you solve that problem, Zero Hedge. And the EV space will be done by the Tesla Cybertruck or Rivian or diesel power, blah, blah, blah. Again, the Slate Auto vehicle isn't a serious pickup truck, but it does look like fun to run around town in. Well, I can tell you because the reviews on the Suzuki Carry for the Chinamen and for the Indians and like in Taiwan, in Tahiti, and I forget the countries. There's not Tahiti. I said Tahiti. In Thailand. In Thailand, and what's the other country? There's a couple of countries right there where the Suzuki Carry is like the #1 selling truck. No, it's the #1 selling truck at less than $10,000. And they asked the people that buy them, can you do all the work on the truck that you need to do? And they're like, yeah. You can haul anything pretty much you want. It's got a full-size 8-foot bed. The bed goes up. It'll get you from point A to point B. It's great on gas. There's no distractions in there, no infotainment. Let me tell you something. Anyone that buys a pickup truck for an infotainment system, then you're not buying a pickup. You're buying a glorified Tesla or whatever other. You know, we did the show on modern cars, and everyone agreed that modern cars suck. That's right, they suck. I'm just impressed that somebody actually did this. Now, how much does this guy actually go for? Because the Suzuki Carry goes for less than $9,000. You can get a Suzuki Carry model for a little less than $9,000 U.S., but you're not allowed to import them into the U.S. It's illegal. So somebody else tariff that already. Maybe Suzuki ought to build their motorcycles and the Suzuki Carry truck in the U.S. because people like me would stand in line to buy one. We still don't know what this thing is.
They're going to be under $20,000.
Well, okay, so it's under $20,000. Again, a Suzuki Carry with a gasoline engine, less than 10. Why are we debating it? Where's the discussion? Why isn't Suzuki beating Trump's door down to say we're going to build a brand new Suzuki Carry truck plant in Alabama? Better than yet, build in Louisiana so I don't have to go far to get mine. Better sure, please. What is the Suzuki Carry truck you keep talking about? Look it up. All right. You're home for the 2025 Win a Pound of Gold contest. And the public can start buying your tickets. Maximum. We're going to give you the odds, but the odds are absolutely phenomenal. I'll give you the odds on Friday. You've never had a chance to win an actual whole pound of gold. And for just $50 a pop. Maggie was telling me that some of you people are meeting Amway resistance when you send your affiliate link out. I must have missed the part where Dexter ever gave me a chance to win a pound of gold when I bought a box of laundry detergent. As a former Amwayer, you never got anything for your purchase other than you get credits. No, you get a chance to win a pound of gold. Same as everyone else. Like you just gave your buddy a chance to acquire some more tickets because you used his affiliate link. I'm going to do a comedy bit one day, and I'm going to explore this in greater detail, how people are able to turn perfectly wonderful, great little opportunities into disasters and tragedies. First of all, I think it's like, well, that only happens to you, Mike. It doesn't happen to anyone else. Well, no, I can't be the only target of this. All right, back to the digital media files. By the way, the Zion King says now that the big, beautiful bill has no shot of getting out of the House until earliest July 4th. Well, if you're going to spend all this amount of time, why not just push it all the way to September like you said? The next spending bill is going to go around and actually do all the DOGE cuts and everything that were supposedly are coming when the fiscal year ends in September. Another thing I don't get. All right, we got an hour left to go here. 844-527-8723, our call and line telephone number. Crusader Stadium chat room open at crusadechannel.com/chat. You can go into the chat or into one of the signal groups and ask someone if you can use their link to be the first to buy a ticket to win a pound of gold. And then you become an affiliate and you can give your link out. Lovers, our Capuchin Dark Roast is now in its 6th year as Crusade Channel listeners' favorite coffee. Grab a bag of whole bean or ground, fresh roasted goodness today and take advantage of flat rate shipping and shop for all our coffees at shop.mychurch.com.
Oh man, May is so boring. I wonder if there's anything on the radio here. On May 2nd, the Mike Church Show will launch a broadcast contest unlike any other in history, and you'll see why May 2025 won't be just another May.
Hey folks, did you know that the word watch, as in wristwatch, originates from the Old English word watcha, meaning watchfulness, and was initially used to describe keeping a lookout or being alert? Well, I know 2 guys who keep a lookout for the highest quality watch movements, bands, and then apply their own love for liberty and the Second Amendment to the design of the faces, and bammo, you have the 2A Liberty Watch Company. My friends George and Josh design watches that are sharp, functional, and inspire. I wear my 2A 2A 4547 POTUS watch every day, and you'll love yours too. Shop their entire line today at 2awatchcompany.com. Use the code CHURCH for 10% off at 2awatchcompany.com.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the King Dude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the King Dude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a King Dude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com.
You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via crusadechannel.com.
Crusade Channel News. News you can trust. Because the truth can be trusted. From the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Crusaders. Welcome to Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. I'm Janet Huxley, reporting for the Crusade Radio Network News Desk, live from the Dothan Farm and Ranch, south of Kansas City, Missouri. This report is brought to you by Mike Church's Beast and Butt Rub, a rub that has won championships and will help make you a champ in your kitchen or backyard. Check out Mike's recipes and pick up a bottle or 6 today at shop.mychurch.com. Here's what to listen for this hour. President Trump signs an order requiring truck drivers to pass English literacy tests. Our troops are overweight. Virginia Giuffre's death cements Royals' ruin, and power restored to half of Spain as travel decimated. Authorities still investigating. President Donald Trump will sign an executive order requiring truck drivers to pass English literacy tests, which will bolster road safety, according to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. This is a big problem in the trucking community, Leavitt said on Monday. The press conference was separate from a White House press briefing earlier Monday morning. Trump was expected to sign the order late Monday afternoon. More than 2/3 of reserve and guard troops are overweight, a potential threat to readiness and their ability to deploy at a moment's notice, according to a new report. Some 68% of the nation's reserve forces are overweight, with a diminished size of the active duty force and increasing demands on the National Guard and reserves. Service members are separated due to obesity and its comorbidities, which are vital personnel the armed forces cannot afford to lose. The study calls for new policies to ensure troops' health and better access to obesity-related health care. Pete Hegseth, Defense Secretary, said, "We will be fit, not fat." Trafficking victim Virginia Giuffre's sudden death will forever remind the public of Prince Andrew's ties to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The 41-year-old who accused the British royal and other influential men of sexually exploiting her as a teenager trafficked by the American financier took her life on Friday, supposedly at her farm in Western Australia. That was according to her publicist. Her death is a massive shock and has created further negativity for Prince Andrew, according to one royal expert who talked with Fox News Digital. Our quote of the day: "We are to love God for himself because of a twofold reason. Nothing is more reasonable, nothing more profitable." Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. And coming up, half of Spain without power, as well as our saint of the day. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the King Dude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the King Dude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a King Dude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com. The Crusade Channel, your news, talk, and Fiorella file station. Fiorella reads and reviews so you can read and purchase with confidence, 9 to 10 a.m. every Monday on the Crusade Radio Network, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com.
Our saint of the day is called Peter Verona, Peter of Verona, an inquisitor and martyr. Peter was born at Verona, Italy in 1205. Both of his parents were Catharists, a heresy that denied God created the material world. Even so, Peter was educated at a Catholic school and later at the University of Bologna. While in Bologna, Peter was accepted into the Dominican order by Saint Dominic. He developed into a great preacher and was well known for his inspiring sermons in the Lombardy region. In addition, around the year 1234, he was appointed by Pope Gregory IX as Inquisitor of northern Italy, where many Catharists lived. Peter's preaching attracted large crowds, but as inquisitor, he made many enemies. In 1252, while returning from Como to Milan, he was murdered by a Catharist assassin at the age of 46. The following year, he was canonized by Pope Innocent IX. He was also named the patron saint of inquisitors. Since 1969, his cult has been locally confined. His feast day is today, April 29th. Spain and Portugal were without power yesterday. Spain's Interior Ministry declared a state of emergency after a massive power outage hit both countries on Monday, knocking out traffic lights and forcing the evacuation of subway systems in both countries, among other disruptions. About half of Spain has seen power restored, while full restoration is expected to occur sometime today. A graph on Spain's electricity network website shows power demand across the country indicated a steep drop at about 12:15 p.m. local time, from 27,500 megawatts to near 15,000, according to the Associated Press. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
Oh man, May is so boring. I wonder if there's anything on the radio here. On May 2nd, the Mike Church Show will launch a broadcast contest unlike any other in history, and you'll see why May 2025 won't be just another May. To be a deacon in his church, you gotta swear.
Well, 'cause I'm she's a big fat she's the biggest in the whole wide world.
Instagram rap influencers are gonna love my church. The King Dude rules and influences the airways on the Crusade Radio Network.
Oh, you mean your Amway? The antidote for the civilization-killing epidemic of low testosterone, the High Tea Mike Church Show is on Crusade Radio Network on a Tuesday, live here. This portion of the program brought to you by the Founders Trading Post store, shop.mikechurch.com. Brand new shipment of Manchipio Maria cigars, and they are just delightful in the natural wrapper. Get you the 4-pack sample today. We ship it out fresh as they come at shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget the Capuchin Holy Roast Coffee. Same place, shop.mikechurch.com. And the books, brand new books, over 10 new titles in the store from Sophia and Ignatius and Tan Books. Check them all out today. One stop. You ain't got to go to all those different places and pay different shipping charges. You can get all those books from us and literally 1,000 others at shop.mikechurch.com. We have free shipping on orders over $50 or more. So there you go, shop.mikechurch.com. Your purchases help support the Founders Trading Post store. By the way, the April crowdfunding still never hit the mark. This will be the third one in a row. You people trying to send the Crusade Radio Network and the Mike Church Show a message? crusadechannel.com/donate. That's crusadechannel.com/donate. Since everyone is talking about this, play the Michelle Obama. Now, again, I'm going to write a song about this.
I'll write a song. You want to hear it? Here it goes.
You wrote a song already? Wait a minute, I did write a song about it. I wrote several songs about it. We haven't played this one. Let's do an update. It is a "You should not be in this country illegally working" update time with the Mike Churchill Band. Why not? Why not? Here's a 2007 classic.
All the old black dudes don't pick beans or dig the ditches anymore. They don't want to work cha-cha-cha like Mexicans for their room and board. All the businessmen got a smile. They got more money in the bank. There's no overtime, cha-cha-cha. No clocks to punch and they take no breaks. Aliens at the roadwork side say, hey, gringos, they work so cheapo. Work like a Mexican. Oh. The young Mexicans don't have cards or green, and so they are sneaking in. They sweep the floors for hey-yo. They work for less than Americans. All the unions so sick of work, they take the nap and 8-hour days. When the whistle blows, cha-cha-cha, they lose their job to Senor Jose. Benefits and the union pay say, hey, gringos, they work so cheapo. Work like a Mexican.
This is a Border Patrol stop, sir. I need your license, registration, and green card. I am not the Mexican that you are looking for. You are not the Mexican that I'm looking for. Get in your car and move along. Get in your car and move along.
I love the Taco Bell. I drink Budweiser, then they send me to Mexico hell.
Sneak your feet up the street, send some cash to Mexico, then you sneak on back. Put dingle balls away, up on the roof of your Cadillac. If you wanna find all your jobs, they're hanging out in the sweaty shops. If you want them back away, then you should go hire more border cops. While the Japanese stole your making, still because we took your labor gigs. And the Congress knows Mexico, they'll never stop our illegal shit. All the skips with the lowriders say, hey, gringos, they work so cheapo. Work like a Mexican. Work like a Mexican.
Is this a new song, Clock? No, it's not a new one. All right, play the machine. Again, this is a mental disease. If you're a Democrat, apparently the new Corona doom, the new I must get 6 jabs, the new I must wear 2 masks, the new neurotic infatuation is we're all dead if we don't import tens of millions of people that aren't Americans. Listen, this is just not. Listen to this.
Couldn't be. We couldn't walk around saying valedictorian, straight A student, speaks excellent, has excellent diction if you give them a chance. Mm-hmm. We knew very early on that no one was going to see beyond the color of our skin at an early age. And that could get you in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about that fear, I'm sure that fear has been tested across your life in so many different places. And I wonder, what would you say has been the most hardest recent test of that fear? Because it's not one of those fears that you kind of get over and it just goes away. It kind of shows its head in many different ways, I imagine.
Well, in this current climate for me, it's, what's happening to immigrants. So it's not the fear for myself anymore. I drive around in a 4-car motorcade with a police escort. I'm Michelle Obama. I do still worry about my daughters in the world, even though they are somewhat recognizable. So my fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't, and we know that those decisions aren't being made with courts and with due process, and that it's being made.
Tape. There's nothing. I don't even want to address this. It's so freaking ridiculous. I don't. Does anyone need to have this explained to them? I don't think you need me to explain it, because she's bat, buana, shit crazy. But I think that that's the purpose. I think that they literally have to present themselves as this is the end. Literally, this is the end of the world. You know, me, I and she suffered through 8 years of Obama, her husband. I never once thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I never once thought that that all was lost and that we were at the end. Now, I did think that there were things that they were indiscriminately doing, because they were. He was indiscriminately, well, actually not indiscriminately, he was with discrimination killing American citizens in foreign lands. The son of Anwar al-Awlaki and Anwar al-Awlaki, as an example here. But I never thought that it was. You lose hope and you turn into despair, folks. Things go south really quick. Yep. These people are preaching a litany. You know, we have all these wonderful litanies in the Catholic Church. We have the litany of the Sacred Heart. We have the litany of Our Lady. We have the litany of the saints. We have the litany of Saint Joseph. We have the litany of the divine praises against profane language. We have all these beautiful litanies here. I think these people need a litany of despair. That all is just about to end. Satanum, hear us, ora pro nobis. That all illegal immigrant pederasts are about to be deported. Satanum, ora pro nobis. I mean, seriously, people are crazy. Did you catch that she kinda worries about her children? Kinda. But she's really in a state of despair over this administration that's just indiscriminate. Yeah, you know, they drive around in paddy wagons looking for darkies. Right? They just look for people that don't look like them, and then, hey, you, want to go for a ride? El Salvador is pretty this time of year. This reminds me of the Mike Obama, Big Mike Obama, when she uttered those famous words. For the first time in my adult life, I can say really that I'm proud of my country. So you weren't proud of it when it sent you to the University of, oh gosh, where'd she go to undergrad? I think was she Illini? When it sent you to Yale or Harvard University. By the way, on a 100% affirmative action, you're not black and you're not female, you don't get into law school. So you weren't proud of it when Barack came out of the barrios of Chicago as a community organizer and was elected to and became one of the subdirectors of the Walter Annenberg Foundation, which distributed $120 million. I know all this because of Stanley Kurtz's work. That distributed $120 million a year, much of which the evidence showed you and Barack were skimming off the top with William Ayers. You weren't proud of your country then. You weren't proud of your country when little Barry had a big hoop-de-doo fundraiser at his house thrown for him by William Ayers, where you raised $2 million so that little Barry could pursue a seat in the Illinois Senate. You weren't proud of your country then. You weren't proud of your country when little Barry Soetoro, also known as Barry Obama, was elected to the Illinois Senate by white people. You weren't proud of your country then. You weren't proud of your country when little Barry Soetoro, also known as Barry Obama, went to the Illinois Senate and gave the only nay vote against the BAIPA. What's the BAIPA? The Born Alive Infant Protection Act. The only member of the Illinois Senate that voted against the BIAPA was Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. You weren't proud of your country then. You weren't proud of your country when little Barry Soetoro, become Barry Obama, was elected to the United States Senate. That wasn't a proud moment. Okay, got it. You weren't proud of your country when your children, Malia and whatever the other one's alleged name was, when your daughters were born safely and healthy in American hospitals and cared for by American nurses and in the American medical system, and then grew to be healthy children. You weren't proud of your country. Okay, got it. You weren't proud of your country when Barry Obama decided he was going to run for presidency, and they let the black guy on the stage with Hillary and all the other white people. You weren't proud of. You just go through this, and this kind of delusional, deranged demagoguery. I have a difficult time imagining living a life stuck in the brain or with the intellect of people like Mike Obama or people like Barry Obama. And there she is sitting. You catch the setup of this posh room that they're doing this podcast in. This guy with this foreign accent obviously had flown from somewhere he obviously wasn't an American. Somehow in Trump's America, we let him in. He got in so he could sit there with his highfalutin English accent, British accent, and say, well, I can see how you're concerned here with all of the deportations that are going on and all the innocent people that are being sent in all these third world countries around the world. I can see. We let you in. How'd you get in? To see her brother with his legs crossed like a woman in white pants sitting next to him, like, first I thought that was Big Mike. I mean, the dude's got white pants.
He a big boy.
Yeah, he a big boy, all right. I have a question. Are they twin brothers? Kind of, were they like conjoined at one time? This is the clip that everyone's talking, oh, Michelle Obama is so concerned. She's going to throw her. Will you stop with the Michelle Obama's going to throw her hat in the ring? Big Mike is going to run for the presidency and save the Democrat Party. She can't get 20,000 people to listen to her podcast, yo.
Well, she's talking about deportation and all this that she's worried about. Didn't her husband also deport people? Pretty sure the stat is 5.3 million.
5.3 million deported under Barry Soetoro. Barry Obama. Hey, you want to hear another one? Here. This is more paranoia. Play Fake Tapper. CNN News has made the executive decision. We're not going to broadcast the faces of the people the Trump administration has illegally arrested and deported for child sex acts.
The Trump administration is approaching its first 100-day mark with a full court press on the issue of illegal immigration, and they really don't want you to miss it. So they subtly and tastefully decked the White House North Lawn with dozens of yard signs featuring photos of people that the Trump administration claims are in the country illegally, each poster saying arrested and listing the alleged offensive with which they have been charged. CNN's working to confirm the identities and if there are actual allegations against these people. Until then, we are blurring their identities.
So he's saying that the White House is a liar.
So basically, the White House just picked a bunch of rando Hispanic-looking people and plopped their photographs as alleged mugshots on the yard sign. We're not broadcasting their photos because we can't independently confirm. So in other words, the Trump administration is filled with liars like you. So again, it's about the 50th time that we have talked about this here on the Mike Church Show, where I say something to the effect of, well, so you're saying that you think that the people, that the entirety of that administration and the people that occupy 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, you're saying that you think that they're all in on some big giant scam to just round a bunch of innocent choir boys up who just happen to have dark tans and throw them into paddy wagons and then deport them to ports south of El Salvador or whatever? That there's no veracity to this whatsoever? You know, how in the hell can you explain how Jocelyn Nungary got raped and killed or got raped and murdered? Rachel Morin raped and murdered. Laken Riley raped and murdered. And these weren't by American citizens. Who brought those people here? Who allowed those people to stay here, fake? Yes, Maggie.
I was just going to say, you have to, the irony of this is like, we have to check and verify and make sure this is 100% accurate. They are the same people that said Hunter Biden's laptop was 100% false.
They're also the same people that said, any photographic evidence you can lend to us that will lead to the arrest and the conviction of evil people that were at the Capitol on January on 010621. Send it to CNN. Peachtree Parkway, Atlanta, Georgia. It's just more of the same. Let's stay on the same subject, shall we? Marjorie Taylor Greene was not afraid to take her camera crew and film herself walking down the pederast Hall of Shame, as it should be. As I said in my tweet about this is a B-roll for the success of the Biden regime. These are their boys. These aren't the boys of Puente de Hoke. These are the boys of Perv de Hoke. As Ronald Reagan would say at the D-Day speech, and here are the boys of Perv de Hoke.
Rape, lewd acts in front of a child, sexual assault, lewd and lascivious acts against a child, fentanyl, illegal gun, child pornography, sexual offense against child, rape of a child, and it goes on and on. Rape and sodomy of a child. If you're an American and you do these things in a foreign country, you are going to face serious consequences, probably the death penalty. You'll probably go to a prison and never come out again. This is exactly what Joe Biden and the Democrats were allowing into our country, harboring and protecting these people. God bless President Trump and his administration for rounding them up, arresting them, and they're going to face consequences. And America absolutely voted for this.
I'm not going to rehash it because we talked about it the other day. Billy Hayes didn't rape anybody. Billy Hayes wasn't accused of any act of perversion or anything of the sort. Billy Hayes was transporting hashish in a foreign country, and he broke their laws. They locked him up. You know, personal story. I remember this. When I first started working on the racetrack in the early 1980s, my Uncle Andrew had horses at the local tracks in Kenner, Louisiana, and New Orleans. You either were at Jefferson Downs in the summer, or you were at the fairgrounds in the winter, in the late fall and the winter. And I remember being at Jefferson Downs, and I remember I was working for a guy who was a horse breeder and rancher from Texas. His name was McKellar. And I remember that Joe McKellar hired a Mexican to work on the training crew. You know, you had your trainer, you had assistant trainer, you had groomsmen, which that's what I did, which pretty much taking horse poop out of stalls. It was a glorified title, groomsman, but I worked with Martine, and he was a nice guy, and I'd ask him, and look, these are a different kind of Mexicans. These are the kind of Mexicans that came here to work, and they went to the Western Union office when they got paid on Friday and sent almost all their money home. They literally were here because for an opportunity here. And I was young, and I didn't know any better, so I didn't think anything of it. I came in one morning, and I'll never forget this. I was doing whatever with one of the horses, and I saw these guys started walking down the shed row, the street parallel to the shed row, where vehicular traffic had passed between the barns. And here come these dudes. Come to find out, they were they ICE or were they BCP? I don't remember. In any event, they saw Martin, stopped what he was doing, and started asking him questions. They started speaking to him in Spanish. They asked him for an ID, and he gave them his Mexican driver's license or whatever. And they kind of said, "Okay, well, this is what's going to happen." And he didn't resist. And they basically, I think that they soft handcuffed him or whatever, but they let him away, and he was deported back. No one cried over it.
Crusaders, I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Radio Network News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. This report is brought to you by Mike Church's Beast and Butt Rub, a rub that's won championships and will help make you a champ in your kitchen or backyard. Check out Mike's recipes and pick up a bottle or 6 today at shop.mikechurch.com. In the market report, the Dow Jones was up 0.28%. The S&P was as well, but just slightly, 0.06%. But NASDAQ was down 0.10%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Peace Rose Day. The light yellow to large cream-colored flowers of the peace rose have slightly flushed crimson-pink petal edges. It's a hybrid tea rose that is hardy, vigorous, and highly resistant to disease. French horticulturist Francis Meilland developed the peace rose between 1935 and 39. When he foresaw the German invasion of France to protect the new rose, he sent cuttings to his friends in Italy, Turkey, Germany, and the U.S. It is believed these cuttings were sent to the U.S. on the last plane available before the German invasion. It's also National Zipper Day and Shrimp Scampi Day. And our quote of the day, we are to love God for himself because of a twofold reason. Nothing is more reasonable, nothing more profitable. Saint Bernard of Clairvaux. And our saint of the day, Peter of Verona. You're listening to Crusade Radio Network News.
So, Maggie, what's with the wry smile?
First of all, dude, I'll wry smile if I want to. Second of all, it's not wry, it's excited.
All right, so what are you excited about?
It's a chick thing. You just wouldn't understand.
What? Is there a sequel to the Twilight trilogy coming out on Peacock?
Pretty close. My trilogy box set of the Summa Domestica is on the way.
So when did you start reading St. Thomas?
It's not St. Thomas. It's Layla Marie Lawler, and it's 3 books every young wife or soon-to-be wife ought to have.
Well, you are a wife, but you're not...
Stop! Don't you do it!
All right. I was just kidding. Light of my life.
Mm-hmm. Besides, it's for our niece as a wedding present.
And I'm sure it'll be a great one.
It will be. Now, where's that cast iron skillet?
What do you need that for?
Well, I'm a Domestica you.
Get the Summa Domestica and dozens of other book selections for girls and women of all ages at the Founders Trading Post store. Today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hey, Christian patriots, are you tired of waking up to the same old fake news? Start your morning right with the Daily Church Doctrine, written by the King Dude himself. It's the must-have newsletter for the truth seekers like you. Every issue brings you the truth and wisdom quote of the day, plus 3 can't-miss stories every Christian patriot needs to know. And that's not all. You'll get exclusive deals from the Founders Trading Post you won't find anywhere else. Sign up for free at mikechurch.com/dude. That's mikechurch.com/dude. Wake up, stay informed, and join the movement.
The Mike Church Show wanted to choose a special term for the loyal and erudite members of our audience. But dude was already taken.
Dude.
So we picked Veritas instead. Hey, Cosgrove, Veritas meets to solve the world's problems every morning with a King Dude. Will you be there?
It's a deal.
The Mike Church Show, heard exclusively on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
Let's do it!
thinks he can get a pair of headphones on Buckshot? I'm going to interview the dog. It'd be better than talking to Michelle Obama.
Honey, honey.
Buckshot, how are you doing today? Well, Father, I'm doing just fine today. Why do you ask? Well, what was on your agenda for today? What was on your to-do list? Well, Father, this morning Mom gave me a silver bowl and filled it with this food-like substance and asked me to eat it. And what did you do? I did what dogs do, Father. I ate the bowl. And then what was on your agenda for the rest of the day? Well, that was it. That was my work day. I don't have to report again. I'm off for now. I got to punch the clock again at 2:30. And what are you going to do at 2:30? Well, I got to punch the clock and I go back to where the silver bowl was, and I have to stand there and look like I want it. And then Mom plunks it down with all this food in it, and then I have to go like, okay, I guess I'm hungry. It's gone. And then what do? That's it. I'm done for the day. You're done for the day? Yeah, an occasional look sad, an occasional, hey, I got to take a leak and you open the door. Things like that, but that's kind of in my leisure time. So I would say in any given day, I do actually about 5 minutes of actual work. The life of a dog. That interview I just did with Buckshot is eminently more interesting than anything Michelle Obama and her brother have done in 5 podcasts. True story. Buckshot would shoot to the top of the charts. Buckshot would be number 1 in iTunes downloads if we could figure out how to get the headphones on him and make him sit up in the chair and look like he's actually talking. You know what? We just need a still image of him. We feed it into the AI. I said, put headphones on him and give me an orbital shot. That's all I need. We make digital magic from there. How many of you would listen to the interview of Buckshot?
I would.
Now, if you had to choose between Buckshot and Michelle Obama and her brother.
No brainer.
All right. I was talking about crowdfunding earlier, and the fact that April has still been a terrible disappointment. This whole year has just been disappointment. Although I keep thinking and going like, okay, the economy is going to turn around. The economy is going to turn around. People are going to start supporting the Crusade Radio Network again. They're going to love us again like they once did. It's going to happen. I know it, and gosh darn it, I'm good enough. I'll be here when it happens. So why not do the interview with Buckshot and try the fundraising with him? I'm going to get those headphones on that dog. And I'm going to get him in that chair, and I'm going to get him in front of that microphone. We are going to see this portion of the program brought to you by our friends at mypillow.com/King Dude. mypillow.com/King Dude. Get yourself a 3-pack of Rev 7 energy drink at mypillow.com/King Dude. It's free, don't cost nothing. But while you're there, I think you have to actually place an order. So you're going to place an order for the Bracali sheets. You're going to order a couple of My Pillows. You might get a pair of my slippers. All at the same place, mypillow.com/King Dude. That'll tell him that I sent you. Trump is on the, guess he's
terrific. He solved the problem
heading after the plane.
And he did the right thing, and he's a good guy.
What was your president? How do you support an update on negotiations?
No, not an update. No, not an update.
Mr. President, Jordan Conrad, doing the Gateway Pundit. I wanted to get your response on the leftist media. They're trying to hide the mugshots that are featured on the front lawn of rapists, murderers, pedophiles. What do you think of that? Aren't they proving to be the enemy of the people?
Well, I guess they are. I guess they are, right? Thank you. Who are you with?
I like your hat, by the way.
Who are you with?
The Gateway Pundit, sir.
Mr. President, what's your message to Republicans on the Hill who seem not to be on board with your political agenda? What do you say
I think they're going to be all on board. I think the Republicans are really with us. We have the big, beautiful deal. It's moving along, and I think we're going to have it taken care of. I think they'll all be there.
Will you end the IRS?
tell us about your decision on the auto tariff, sir.
We just wanted to help them during this little transition, short term. And during this little, if they can't get parts, it has to do with a very small percentage. If they can't get parts, we didn't want to penalize them. And they have a 1-year period, and then they have an extra year. But it's for a very, very small part of the car. Basically, they're paying 25%.
Mr. President, have you done the IRS, Mr. President, with the Internal Revenue Service?
What's your message for all retailers who could do possibly the same thing?
Yeah, nothing that really, he's a good guy. I've gotten to know him over the last couple of years, and he's done a fantastic job. So I appreciated what he did.
Sir, what is How are you? There you go. How's it going? Give me a speech in Michigan. You're going to list the accomplishments of the administration. Yeah. If there was one big thing you really wanted to have happen in the first 100 days,
obviously it's Air Force One or Marine One.
We've done everything or it's in the process of being done. For instance, the border is in great shape. 99.9% came out again today. 99.9. That I would say that was my number one thing. The economy would be certainly right up there, and I think it's doing great. We were losing billions and billions of dollars a day with trade, and now I have that down to a very low level, and soon we're going to be making a lot of money. We're going to be reducing people's taxes, and we're going to get the big, look, a very important element that we're working on now, maybe more important than anything with the border in good shape, is the fact, is the fact that we want to get, and very importantly, the big, beautiful New Deal. If we get that done, that's the biggest thing, what's happening in Congress right now. And I think we're going to get it done. We have great Republican support. If the Democrats blocked it, you'd have a 60% tax increase. I don't think that's going to happen. We have great support from Republicans. So the big, beautiful deal, that's what we want, the bill. I think the next period of time, I think my biggest focus will be on Congress with the deal that we're working on. That'll be the biggest bill in the history of our country in terms of tax cuts and regulation cuts and other things.
Canadian election.
By the way, you know that bill must be good because Schumer was just on saying, we Democrats are going to do all we can with all of our heart, mind, and body and soul to stop this bill. It must have something good in it.
No, that happens to be out of a place called New York, who's very good. So we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. President, you are doing so much for Africa. You are the first president that in the first 100 days focused on Africa for the first time in the history of this country. Are you planning maybe in the future visit the continent?
Sure, I would do that. I would do that, absolutely.
Doesn't he just look like he's having a good time? You see, he just looked up and winked at the cameraman.
They are calling, and I will be talking to him, yes.
Did you happen to do something with the tariffs and automobiles? Were you worried about the automobiles?
No, not at all. We're just giving them a little chance because in some cases they can't get the parts fast enough. So this is just a little transition. It's 15% for 1 year and just 10% for another. It's a little bit. And it has to do, that's only the percentage of parts on the car. So it's a little bit of help for people that will be doing a great job. And these are all people, for the most part, that are building plants and will be working here. So
he's talking about the semiconductors on cars.
Go ahead, what? India's coming along great. I think we'll have a deal with India. The Prime Minister, as you know, was here 3 weeks ago, and they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go. President Trump live there as he's getting ready to head out on Marine One. I have to tell you something yesterday, and I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, but I like them a lot more today. He had the Eagles at the White House yesterday, and he gave his little speech about the Eagles. Nobody thought that the Eagles were going to do it again, that they We're going to have this season. They doubted all of you, the Eagles. But he he just has a rapport with people that's enjoyable to watch. You know, people want to jump on me, Trump and this and that. I'm like, I just like the guy. Sue me. But I really just enjoy he brought the coach up and he says, well, you know, I don't have anything to do with this now. Don't anybody infer anything. I can't tell the NFL what to do, but I think that I like the tush push. Okay? Coach, is that okay with you? I think I want to say they should keep the tush push legal. And then he said, I thought it was, and I was sitting there watching this, and Maggie could hear me laughing, and she says, what are you laughing at? I said, I'm just laughing at our president. He's just a funny guy. And then he said, something else came up, and then he said, and I tell you what else, we've got to get the kickoff back. Why are people not moving when the ball's in the air? I don't understand. Who made this decision? We need the kickoff back. It's so stupid, and it takes so much out of the ball's in the air, and no one is moving until it's like touched, and it's so stupid. So stupid. No, he said tush push. That's what some people. All right, Tom Connolly, you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. There's a couple of nicknames for the play. It's unstoppable. You're going to score every time from the two. Is it called? Do you guys call it the tush push, or is there's another name for it? But he called it. He actually said the tush push. Okay, it's called the tush push. I thought so. And then another little moment from the president greeting the Eagles yesterday. He said, well, I played golf. He was reading Saquon Barkley's achievements for last year. 2,500 yard, or the brother, that's it, the brotherly shove is what they call it. I like brotherly shove. Over tush push. He was reading Saquon's football card basically for last year, and he said, and you know, he set an NFL record, 2,500 yards from scrimmage for a running back. It was a record, and he said this and the other, and he goes, and then you may have heard that Saquon and I played some golf, and he goes, first I said, Saquon, you want to come on the plane? You want to ride on Air Force One? And he said. And most people go like, no, Mr. President, and most people go, I don't want to do that. He goes, but Saquon goes, yeah, sure, why not? And then Trump just stopped and he goes, okay, well. In other words, he was expecting him to say no. So Saquon Barkley says yes. And he goes, and let me tell you, Saquon, don't quit your day job. You're much better at football than you are at golf, okay? He's not a good golfer. He said he was not a good golfer. And it was just funny. He invited a couple of the linemen down. And I got to tell you, I didn't see Philadelphia Eagles. He mentioned Jalen Hurts, and he said, Jalen, thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And I know that Jalen Hurts was one of them that said that he really didn't want to go. But there were a couple thousand Eagles fans that were there. Or 100 maybe, that were cheering on their team. And it was cool because right next to Trump, as he was speaking, was the Lombardi Trophy. And it was just like, and you know, when you see a situation like this, what I like about it is that the president is genuinely a fan. He truly is an admirer of that team's accomplishment. He wants teams like that. He wants all the teams to do good. But he's truly a fan of people and teams like that accomplish things. And it was a thrill for him to be able to host the Philadelphia Eagles, the Super Bowl champions, at the White House. And I saw a bunch of Eagles players standing behind him and he would call their name out and they would say something. And some of them came down to the dais and said, thank you, Mr. President. And I don't know. Biden could never do that. Obama could never do that. Even though Obama may have tried and may have had teams at the White House. When the Saints won the Super Bowl, they went and there were a couple of Saints players that didn't want to go because they didn't want to be anywhere near Barry Obama, but I think that they ultimately went. In any event, I thought it was a beautiful sunny day. It was just cool to see the president and the Lombardi Trophy, and then the Eagles behind him. And I thought the Eagles were like a very good demeanor and cheer. Okay. We're not going to play the slate. We already did that. Okay, I want you to do this. Play digital media file number 6, and then we're going to talk to Magdalene about it. This is Caroline Levitt this morning. And again, this is not your grandfather's White House spokesman. She's prepared. She knows what she wants to say and how she wants to say it. She comes prepared with the evidence, the receipts as they call them. And somebody asked her a question about Amazon, and boom, this Thor's hammer got dropped on that person's head.
It was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
Watch.
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise.
No, WK
because,
Summer,
as
she doesn't
Reuters
have a
recently
notebook.
Wrote,
She doesn't need one.
Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda
Boom.
arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
It was.
By the way, I want to thank Carlton Phillips for a fantastic donation in the Crusader Stadium chat room. Thank you, Carlton. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. Who's next? CrusadeChannel.com/donate. Remember, we are your home for the Win a Pound of Gold contest. And there are 50 Crusaders. Well, they're not all Crusaders because some of them came from other shows that I appeared on. But there are around 50 Crusaders who have affiliate links that can give them to you, and they're having a contest twixt themselves to see who can sell the most tickets between now and Friday. A pound of silver is at stake. 3 days to go. No one has even a single referral yet. So go to the chat room, say, hey, I want to buy tickets, and then let them pitch you on which one you should go with. Go into the Lost Starkian signal chat. Let them pitch you. Go into the Mike Church Show signal chat, which if you want to be a member of, easy to do. Send me a message on Twitter. Send me an email. I am kingdude@protonmail.com. Send Maggie a message, and we will email you or get you the link so you can get added to the signal chat. Magdalene Rose, our political affairs contributor for the Mike Church Show. This is not Corinna Jean-Pierre. This is not a White House. That when that woman goes to that podium, she may be the most prepared since Sarah Huckabee Sanders to actually go out there and go like, well, I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon, and she just happened to have a picture, because people like him pictures, of Jeff Bezos, the CEO, holding a picture up that had something to do with this CCP, this Chinese Communist propaganda PR company. He goes like, well, did you know that they're making deals with the CCP? So again, a lefty thinking that they were going to get one up on Caroline Levitt and completely and totally demolished right there from the podium.
Well, I think that's also because this time around, Trump understands the D.C. media game a little better. The learning curve that he had to undergo when he first became president the first time was so massive that I think a lot of times he was sort of caught not knowing what was happening, not understanding what the deal was. This time around, he not only understands what he has to do to stay afloat, he also understands the level of study that is needed. Previously, I think he kind of dismissed that, but now he really gets it.
And this also is understanding that the legacy MSN, the Malachian satanic media, is actually a hostile force. and then treating them like they're a hostile force. I think they're going to go on and say what they're going to say anyway, but this just defangs this monster. And I've been saying it, Magdalene, you've been with me for 3 years. I've been saying it for like the last 6 months. I think that these guys, big broadcast media, the news titans, I think that they're done. And I think that they should be done because they lost the trust of their customers. The customers, the American people, don't trust those people anymore, and they shouldn't. And all the Trump White House is doing is just driving that point home. Every time Caroline Leavitt goes to that microphone, every time they do a cabinet meeting and they open it up to the public.
Well, I think a lot of this began as well when Biden was still president, because we all knew that Biden wasn't actually president. We all knew that he wasn't doing the job, and we knew that he hadn't been for a long time. But the sort of independent-minded, the more moderate Republicans, they didn't want to accept that the media could be lying on the level that they're lying. So this distrust of the media at the beginning of the end for them, I think, really began with the hiding of his decline.
And then the next thing, okay, so tonight, and we will cover this live here on the Crusade Radio Network. Tonight, the president will go to northern Michigan. Gretchen Dimwitmer will be at the airport when he lands at the National Guard station. He will address the Michigan National Guard, and then he will go to an event where it's a Trump rally. It's a Trump rally at the Macomb County Sports Expo Center, and he's going to give a recap of his 100 days. There's just something that is, it's so extraordinary about this. So you're going to get the people that are in one of the states that was a swing state, you're going to pay them back. You're like, I'm going to tell you all the great things that are going on here. We're going to have a big rally tonight, and it's going to be fun. What is, and I ask you this every day, what can possibly be the response to this? AOC going across town for the meeting 300 people, yelling oligarchy sucks?
Well, there isn't really a response to it, and that is because Democrats are at a place now where nobody likes their platform. You can disagree with Democrats on their positions and whatnot, but when you are the party that no one likes the platform of, it makes it difficult, first of all, to attract mega donors, but also to make it so that people want to hear what you have to say. They're bringing AOC out because they have absolutely no idea what to do. And I think that that's what has really happened here. They've decided to bring AOC out because if they don't, they literally have no one else. Bernie Sanders, the idea that he's going to run for president at his age is ridiculous, but they will make him do it to try to stop Vance or whatever young Republicans coming out. I think once Democrat politicians become Democrat politicians, they're at the mercy of great evil.
Especially when you have the state of California refusing to pass bills against making a felony out of soliciting sex with a minor in a park. There's really nowhere to go down from there. All right, Magdalene, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then, folks, crusadechannel.com/donate. You can get your tickets. You talk to all the affiliates. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tonight. God bless you and Mary keep you.